Good morning to all of good morning to all of you. Actually, I'm just requesting all of you to just switch off your phone. Either it is put in silent mode. ये इसको इतना
पहाड़ियों में घूमते हैं, जंगलों में डोलते, फर्ज की तराजुओं में अपना खून तोलते, मन में प्रेम भाव लेके सेवा द्वार खोलते। हम हैं सीमा सुरक्षा बल, हम हैं सीमा सुरक्षा बल। भारत के हर प्रांत से आए बहादुरों का दल, हम हैं सीमा सुरक्षा बल, हम हैं सीमा सुरक्षा बल। नए तरह के हथियारों से हम तैयार खड़े, हर मौसम में सीमाओं पर हम होशियार खड़े। धूप हो के चाँद, शहर हो के गाँव, जिंदगी है दाव। हम हैं सीमा सुरक्षा बल, हम हैं सीमा सुरक्षा बल, हम हैं सीमा सुरक्षा बल, हम हैं सीमा सुरक्षा बल। भारत के हर प्रांत से आए बहादुरों का दल, हम सीमा के प्रहरी हैं, हम सीना तान खड़े। हम भारत के गौरव की बन के पहचान खड़े। हम सीमा के प्रहरी हैं, हम सीना तान खड़े। हम भारत के गौरव की बन के पहचान खड़े। भारत के हर प्रांत से आए बहादुरों का दल, हम हैं सीमा सुरक्षा बल, हम हैं सीमा सुरक्षा बल, हम हैं सीमा सुरक्षा बल, हम हैं सीमा सुरक्षा बल। भारत के हर प्रांत से आए बहादुरों का दल।
हेलो Once again, good morning to all of you. Since there are some civil students are also there, and there are certain rituals which we have to follow. So I don't think it is applicable to you also. So there is no need to do the same thing, whatever we are done. But since we have certain ritual, we have to follow. Okay, just like attention, Savdhan, bat, Vishram. Okay, so it is not applicable to you. But during national anthem, it is applicable to all. Okay. सावधान बैठ, आराम से बैठ. Respected Sri Epen PV, IG, SETCO BSA Bangalore, distinguished faculty members, NCC cadets and students of Chanakya University, our officers, staff and trainees. A very electrifying and resounding welcome to all of you at this SETCO BSF Bangalore. I am Vishal Rana, Deputy Commandant, and it is an absolute pleasure and privilege to host such a distinguished gathering of individuals who embody the lives of values of dedication, discipline, and services. Today, we are honored to welcome NCC cadets, students, and faculties from Chanakya University to our esteemed institution. Your presence here today is a testament to your commitment to learning, growth, and excellence. And we are truly delighted to have you among us as we came together to exchange ideas, share knowledge, and foster mutual understanding and collaborations. As we embark on this journey together, let us seize this opportunity to learn from one another, to forge new connections, and to strengthen the bonds of friendship and camaraderie that unite us. Today, we have a distinct privilege of hosting a lecture by our esteemed head of institution, Sri Epen PV, PMMS, IG BSA Bangalore. His wealth of knowledge, experience, and insights will undoubtedly leave a lasting impression on all of us, and we eagerly anticipate the wisdom he will impart in the lecture. As we gather here today, let us embrace this opportunity to engage in thoughtful dialogue, to ask questions, and to challenge assumptions. Let us approach this lecture with an open mind. You are free to ask any question from sir. Sir have a very vast knowledge in each and every field, whether it is of the context of the subject or it is outside the subject. You can ask anything. So let us approach this lecture with an open mind and eager hearts, ready to absorb new ideas and perspective that will enrich our academic journey. Once again, a warm welcome to each and every one of you. May today's visit be a source of inspiration, enlightenment, thought-provoking, and empowerment for all of us. Now move on to introduction to our today's speaker, our IG sir. It's my great honor and privilege to introduce our esteemed speaker for today's lecture, Sri Epen PV, IG BSF Bangalore, with a career dedicated to the advancement of technology and nourishment of talent. Mr. Epen PV sir has made significant contribution to the field of operation, administration, and education and training. During more than 38 years of their service, he has willingly served in almost all regions of BSF, all trains of the country, and performed all kinds of duties under trying conditions with utmost enthusiasm, devotion, dedication, honesty, and unflinching loyalty. Sir is a rare combination of great administrator, visionary, a great human being, a great speaker having unmatched communication skill, a great intellectual who has very deep knowledge about each and every field, a great instructor, a great commander who neutralized so many militants, insurgents during their tenure in Kashmir and Northeast. And above all, sir is a great human being. If I start telling the attributes, then this session will not be enough. And in fact, formal introduction of the sir is already get by you during our visit of Chanakya University, and I think one NCC cadet are already briefed that give introduction of the sir at that time. So you are already aware. So without taking too much time, without further ado, gentlemen, brace yourself for an electrifying and unforgettable moment. Let us raise your voices and unleash a thunderous ovation as we welcome our beacon of inspiration, our guiding light, and epitome of excellence, Sri Epen PV sir, to the stage. The stage is set, moment is here, and the possibilities are boundless. Let us make this welcome one for the ages. Please, sir.
डाला है क्या टाइटल? Sri Hemant Kumar Jha, DIG, SETCO BSF Bangalore, faculties, non-faculties from Chanakya University, the NCC cadets, students, trainees of SETCO, officers, trainees, SCRO, and my dear friends. Few days back only I had delivered a talk there on national security. And I found that you are much interested in security environment, particularly security environment that encompasses us in our country. I thought one step forward, why shouldn't we talk about something that has happened, something that had enveloped the country for all these years, in fact. An episode that took place about 53 years back, 1971. Many things were told about it. Many things are yet to be told. Some of those things must be in the casket, maybe secret, not unraveled as yet. Some are very complex that we don't even talk about it. Some are common, but many may not know. So I thought of talking about it. So before I go into this, let us understand as to what the national security is. When do you call, basically, before I talk about the subject, when you feel that nation has security, it's a small definition given here. Nation has security when it does not have to sacrifice its legitimate interest to avoid a war and is able, if challenged, to maintain them by war. So the meaning of it is all-encompassing actually. If you are looking at it, it says that national security is that you are not forced into war. And if you are forced, you are able to defend. You are able to fight it out. That is what it is. In 1971, a similar thing has happened. There are a number of definitions, only one or two I have jotted down to make you understand as to what forced us, what compelled us, what constraint Mrs. Gandhi and her cabinet had, what compulsions and constraint Sam Manekshaji, the later on Field Marshal, then Chief of Army Staff, had at the time of the war. What forced us to go into war? No nation would want to go to war. Why should a nation go to war? None of us want. You don't want to fight with your colleague. You don't want to fight with your neighborhood. So is the case with the nation because it takes you back by many decades. It is a costly affair. It is very, very costly. But what were those constraints that forced us into war? We had fought few wars. We had immediately at the nascent stage when we were a very young, small kid, in 1947, we had to fight a war with Pakistan. It was forced because at the time of, I'll take 1 or 2 minutes to understand as to how the Indian domain was formed. In 1947, at the time of partition, there were a few options given to, we had a presidency system, we had Mumbai presidency or Bombay presidency, Madras presidency, Kolkata we had a presidency. We had a British Raj under which the Britishers used to directly rule and govern those territories, and then we had princely state under the tutelage of British Crown. So all these princely states, British Raj would have got freedom automatically, naturally. There was no option available. Then these domains were given the option of joining either of the domain, that is either Pakistan or India, based on the population pattern, based on the religion. One was a Muslim-dominated country, the other one was going to be a Hindu-dominated part, which would have gone as India. So then princely states were given the option of joining either of these domains or to remain independent. So J&K, the other day when I was talking to you, the biggest of the states with the 2,20,000 square kilometer area, decided to, in their wisdom, Maharaja Hari Singh decided to remain as independent. Later on, he had to now revert. He had to say that I would join the Indian domain, and he has signed the instrument of accession in 1947 when he was threatened by the marauders, we call it. The irregulars of Pakistan reached right up to Baramulla and to a certain extent up to Srinagar. Then he was forced to sign. We went into war. That was the first war. Then we had a war in 1965. 62 we had a war with China. These were localized actually. The complete nation was not on to war. 1971 war was the only war, or is the only war that we fought. It was an all-out war. An all-out war is a war in which the complete nation goes to war. In a war, not the militaries goes to war alone. the complete nation, its property, its infrastructure, its people, its mind, its soul go to war. And 1971 was a war which we fought, that was an all-out war, where we fought it in the Eastern Front, in the Western Front, the people participated, and we had to defend the North, and only thing was that the time of choosing was our choosing actually. We chose, though what forced Pakistan that we'll decide, we'll discuss in December to attack us in the Western Front, which forced Mrs. Gandhi to declare war. So 1971 December was a time when the snow would have set in, the complete Himalayan glaciers would have stopped Chinese ingression into India. A trespass into our territory from the northern end would have been restricted at least. If not stopped, it would have been restricted. That means to a certain extent, because of the geographical constraints, we would have been less threatened during December, January at least. If the war was to be prolonged for another month, though it was curtailed in 13 days, it was stopped after 13 days of fighting. So 1971 war, 13 days the complete nation went into war. This is what Mrs. Gandhi has written about war. Why, what forced her? I will come into this prelude part, my title, and then the complex outcome of the war. Mrs. Gandhi has written that, if you see, you can read that Mrs. Gandhi said that it is profitable to go to war. I said that going to war is not very, very expensive thing. It is not like purchasing a set of dress or a suit or purchasing a vehicle or something like that. It is not like getting few armaments or some purchase that takes place every day. Nation may spend its complete GDP and yet not win a war. You are not sure of the outcome of any war. A nation is forced into war. That means you are forced to the extent that you feel you are threatened, your integrity is threatened, you are challenged. The values that you hold, esteem, in high esteem, is challenged. Without a war, you won't be able to defend those values, defend those ethos, defend those infrastructures, defend the mind, soul, and the physical property of human beings. Those are the citizens of your country. So this is what Mrs. Gandhi said, it is better to go to war than do what is written. We had 10 million refugees in the Eastern Front. We had refugees in Tripura, we had refugees in Meghalaya, we had refugees in Bengal, we had refugee camps in Bihar, we had refugee camps in Assam. Upper Assam, of course, we have refugee camps in most of the northeastern states. We had about 10 million refugees. Just imagine the kind of cost that we would have incurred if we were to feed them. Mrs. Gandhi was looking at it. So it started when? So now let us come with this thing, the second part which she has written with her hand. It is typed here, but this is what she has written about BSF. This is post-war that she has written. I'll read out later. Let us go back to this, and I'll remain here in this slide. The prelude. Why the war? In 1947, we discussed earlier that we had two domains, India and Pakistan. What forced? You know it. I will not go into it in detail. But it was on the population pattern. Some have chosen Pakistan, some have chosen India. In India, people migrated in large numbers. From Pakistan, also a large number of people migrated to us. On religious grounds, after being forced and compelled. You all know it. No, we formed, it was a democratic country. We became a republic with a constitution, a solid constitution which is standing still, despite, it's all right. Despite more than 70 years passage, we are still there. 77 years we are into. So our constitution is there intact, though we had few amendments. We have some additions of articles, parts, these things are there, but our constitution is there, our democracy is there. This is our integral part of our daily governance. We have a bicameral parliament, lower house and upper house, and we have a president there, which is overseeing as to what the government. We have a judiciary independent. Indian judiciary is known for its independence at least. It is working really well, despite all these wars, despite all those internal strife that we faced. Despite the kind of diversities, I will not go into the diversity. If I am to talk about diversity, that would take a whole day. We have religious diversity, racial diversity, language problem we have. We have 22 official language. Forget about the thousands of language, more than 1,000 language that we have in dialect dialect forms. We have every diversity, every divergence. Despite that, we are an integrated nation, stitched together as one thread. This is what we are. What happened to Pakistan? That is the prelude. Pakistan, after partition, 1947, one day before us, they become, so it is like a sibling rivalry. So they thought that India would become 15th August 1947, India's Independence Day. So Pakistan thought we would become senior and a major by declaring our independence on 14th of August, one day senior. It is like a tin coming out, twin. The first child would come few seconds, few minutes earlier than the second one, so you would claim or she would claim that I am elder to you. Isn't it? So this probably was, I don't know what else it could have been. It could have been a joint independent day. Anyway, 14th August 1947, they become independent. Did they have a constitution? They tried to make constitution. They have failed 3 times until 1970. 3 constitutions they made, and all these years, predominantly it was the martial law. They used to call it, at the time of war in 1971, even today I would say that, despite the fact that they have a semblance of a constitution, I will not call it a concrete constitution, Pakistanis. It is, anytime it could be overwhelmed. It could be overruled. Anytime some military junta can tell that you keep aside your constitution, we will rule it. So in 1959, Ayub Khan decided to be the CMLA. CMLA means Chief Martial Law Administrator. So he continued until 1969. Why he quit in 1969? Giving to what? Whom? Giving the powers to his descendant in line. Who was it in 1971? The man who went to war with us? Yahya Khan. In 1969, the baton was passed on to Yahya Khan. So all these years, they never had a national election. The first national election Pakistan had was in 1970, the first national election. You marked this. Pakistan could not hold a national election until 1970. So 1970, they decided all of a sudden will. Why? What were the constraints that pushed them back? They could not hold. Despite being a democracy, despite being a republic, they could not hold an election. There are many things, because they would make a constitution, and after a few days, few months, few years, they would say this constitution is not very good. This constitution is not very good. Let us have another one. So by that time, the next constitution would come. So in between, the prime minister started getting killed, bumped off. They would bump off the prime minister even. Liaquat Ali got killed, bumped off. And in 2 years, they sacked 3 prime ministers, predominantly and basically because the 3 prime ministers were from the eastern part of the prime ministers, means not through the elected one type. It was nominated type prime ministers. They had never had elections. 1951 to 52, they had 3 prime ministers, all from eastern side, and they were all sacked. 51 to 61, intermittently, not continuous. On this protest that if they continue, they will have more dominance. The East would have more dominance. So Pakistan was East Pakistan, and see the inconsistency. Pakistan's geographical confines remained 1600 kilometers apart. West Pakistan's distance from the East Pakistan, the present day Bangladesh, was how much? I am referring to the eastern front of the West Pakistan and western front of, from Calcutta I am referring. It is 1600 kilometers distance they are lying. That is the lay of the Pakistan. Just imagine a country can we work like this? You have it is like J&K having a summer capital and a winter capital. Every year we would see, we were there for quite some time, all these old officers who served in J&K or has visited J&K, you also would know from the history and you would know from the geographical thing. So they have a capital in Jammu, they have a capital in Srinagar. In winter, they would say it is very cold, let us go to Jammu. So Jammu, they will have a capital. In summer, they would say it is very hot in Jammu, they will go to. So these people did not shift their capital, of course, but their lay was like this, West Pakistan. The West Pakistan predominantly had 4 provinces. What all were the provinces? The other day I said something like that. I made a reference to it. They had Punjab, Sindh, Balochistan and Northwestern Frontier Province. So these were four independent entities. They used to refer to as five provinces. East Pakistan or the present day Bangladesh used to be called as a province then. So fifth was the East Pakistan. So later on they thought that East Pakistan, one integral part, one province, and from the beginning they said they have no Bengali. The Bengali, if you can understand, I don't know how many of you have heard about Indo-European languages. Our language, that languages that we speak in India, mostly are grouped in Indo-European language. Hindi is, or Hindustani, there is no Hindi actually, it is Hindustani. Hindustani that we speak, Urdu, Punjabi even, Bengali, these form part of Indo-European language. Why it is Indo-European language? As a passing remark, why? Because these languages are reference to most of the European languages. When the Europeans came here, they found many words here. They did not incorporate those words. Many words that they would find here, they would find the words for god, goddesses, words for worship, temples and all these things they would find mentioned here in our languages. They said these are from that they started a research. In the research they found that these languages are intertwined. These languages are forming part of Indo-European language. So among these Indo-European language, if you know, Bengali is the second largest, second biggest, the most beautiful language, if I am to put it that way. Bengali is a very sweet language. So they said no mention of Bengali in Pakistani governance. They would say only two languages, the bilingual system, lingual system. One is Urdu, the other one is English. How many languages we refer to? We have how many languages, do you know? Besides the English I am referring, English is there of course because we still have the color of English. Those who speak like today I have chosen to speak, generally I speak to troops in Hindi. I speak very well, my Hindi is not bad. But we generally tend to, because when you have an assortment of people sitting, you would want everybody to understand one language you take, that is why. The languages that we have 22 official languages, if you know it, including some of the language you might not even have heard in South. Maithili is a language. Among those 22, Maithili is a language. Goan is a language. This language, Maithili, it is spoken in part of Bihar, eastern part. So there are languages which we refer. Our 22, we are proud of those diversities, but Pakistan could not hold on to more than two languages. They said Bengali will not be spoken. That was a time when, today Pakistan has more numbers in population because Pakistan is a sprinter as far as population production is concerned. That time, the era which I am referring, Bangladesh, today's Bangladesh, then East Bengal, East Pakistan, demography wise, the population wise, that was bigger than West Pakistan. Yet they said Bengali would not form part of the official transaction. So Bengali was deprived of its legitimate right to find part in the official transactions. So that was a big discontentment actually. It was a big discontentment to the Bengalis. They raised slogans against it, protested it, they took processions, rebellions were there. Many people joined hands, the students, the academicians, professionals. They were on the streets protesting against all these happenings. There was nobody to listen. The military junta would never listen. Why should an authoritarian government, somebody having the power in their hands, wielding power unauthorizedly, without any legitimate authority in a democracy, why should they accept the popular demand? They would say, we will not listen to you. Though they try to suppress, 27th February is known as the World Language Day, Mother Language Day. It is 27th of February. Why it is? Because that was the day on which 300 Bengali students were killed while they were protesting against non-inclusion of Bengali language. So these were some of those boiling points, and then there is no direct umbilical cord connection between the Bengalis. Their culture was different. Their culture was more akin to the Indus culture. Their culture was more akin to the rest of the India culture. Their culture was more akin to the West Bengal, Bihar, Assam and all those cultures. Bengalis, for your information, whether it is East Bengal, the present day Bangladesh, or then East Pakistan, or West Bengal, which we refer to as West Bengal, Mamadas Bengal today. So whatever it is, they uphold their language. They put their language at the highest of esteems. They are very proud of their language. on this day, why this language was given? The complete ladai, the complete war was on language. So non-inclusion of language. Then came a time, I'll fast forward now, because the lecture should be very short. We should be sitting here for interaction. 1970, I said, the elections was coming. They said that one integral part, Northwest, the 4 provinces joined together, called, government name, that name was called West Pakistan, then East Pakistan. Because of the demographical dividends. So, we also have the Lok Sabha elections now going on. Every Lok Sabha seat, more or less, would be similar in demographic count. Lok Sabha, you understand it? The MLAs can be on any number, any count. MLA can be, like Goa has 60 MLAs, more than 60 has to be there to be a state. That is why you need minimum 60 seats. So, even if it is a small assembly, state assembly, it will have 60. Whether the population count is small, little, the geography is small, little, you will have that much. As far as the Lok Sabha is concerned, it is supposed to represent a quantum of population. So, your population count would look similar. All the seats that will go to election. Pakistan also had a National Assembly, they used to refer. They used to have National Assembly, and at that time they fixed it at 300 in 1970 election. 169 seats belong to which part? East Pakistan, because of the population dividend or demographic dividend we call it, and 131 seats belong to West Pakistan because they had lesser population. So, because they produced more children, they had more dividend. So, 169. They went to election. The Awami League was the primary party or more predominant party, the bigger party in the east, rather the only party if you have to. And West Pakistan's predominant party was the Punjabi party. West Pakistan is predominantly dominated by the Punjab province, or they refer to as Punjabis. They don't pay any heed to the Sindhis or Balus or northwestern frontier. They are treated as with a kid glove, they treat them. So they had 131, they went to election. The election result was like this. 165 out of 169 in the east were won by Awami League. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's Awami League. And rest you just imagine, out of 300 you have 165. That is sufficient to be invited to form the government. Okay, so Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was thinking that because new constitution, new election, the first election, the only election Pakistan saw was the 1970 election, larger Pakistan. They could not see a second election. So he was expecting that I would be called, but his complete plan was scuttled by Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, PPP. He influenced Yahya Khan. They formed a committee. The committee under Air Vice Marshal, he was put into head this committee. They made certain recommendations. They said that the gist of the recommendation was that in a democracy, if you have a constitution, the party, the largest one should be invited. But that again was, even after the committee formation and opinion framing, it was curtailed by the military junta. They said because military, it was predominantly by the Punjabis, they said nothing doing. This wouldn't happen. Put the National Assembly in suspension. The National Assembly was under suspension. By that time, we ended 1971. So 1971, the Bengalis in the East Pakistan, they were agitating against the kind of outcome. They were agitating against the kind of treatment meted out to Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was an uncontested leader in the Northeast. If you have to look at his charisma, if you have to look at the kind of personality he was, I don't think you would come across a leader today. Nowhere. I don't think. If I am to make a statement like this, you would understand what kind of a leader he had. The complete Bengalis, at least in the East Pakistan, used to follow him. His one word was sufficient to send out the complete, at that time they had about 7 crore people, 70 million. And it was like about 70 million versus 6.3 crore, 63 million in West Pakistan. So the complete people could be put on road or street or on rebellious mood by one speech of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. He was a good orator. So what happened, actually they were on rebellion, they were negotiating, they were trying to come to a kind of conclusion. Bhutto also tried, then ultimate the final, by March, Bhutto said that let us come to some kind of an understanding. The understanding would be that you be the Prime Minister and let me be the president. Because in Pakistan, despite the fact they also have a kind of, it is a bicameral system. They have a National Assembly and they have a Senate also. That time the Senate was 50-50 from all the provinces, 5 provinces. That is West Pakistan, and all the provinces were to have. For the Senate, it was like equal treatment. Each Senate will have 10 senators each. That was it. So senators had very less power actually. Senators had very less power. It was the National Assembly, like our Lok Sabha, who would decide as to what would happen on the governance at least. So at least this was, if government was to be formed, majority has to be there in the National Assembly. So he agreed. They say that they sent out a kind of press release that Sheikh Mujibur Rahman has agreed to be the Prime Minister and Bhutto would be the President. Anyway, that did not take place. Mujibur Rahman said, I did not say like this. Why should there be a President when there is a Prime Minister? And if I am to be the Prime Minister, President should not be the President the way Yahya is sitting. So that is what happened. So after that, the rebellion started on 25th, I'll now fast forward, 25th of March, 25th, 26th, intervening night, he declared independent Bangladesh. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and he was picked up on the same night, taken to West Pakistan, where he was later on tried by court-martial. The other day I said the same thing. And he was handed out a sentence of death by hanging. He was put into a small cell, dug a graveyard and hang a noose. He was to be hung there, and every day somebody would come and remind him that this is the noose for you, you would be hung on it, and this is a graveyard where you would be buried, and we will plaster it, and you will be under 6 feet down. This is a graveyard. The morbidity, just see that, it's all right, we all die, we come to this planet to die only. It is a kind of sojourn for all of us. The day you take birth, we die, everybody knows it. But if somebody is to be reminded every day, you are going to be killed, you are going to be hung, just see the morbidity of the kind of mindset Pakistanis had. And they would orchestrate it, they would manifest it in the most morbid form. And this was happening there. Now, after his picking up, the complete Awami League dispersed. They vanished from the scene because General Tika Khan was put into place as the commander-in-chief and governor, of course, of East Pakistan. And they sent in about 2 more divisions. You know, you have to understand one thing, in 1965 war, this was also another discontentment that the Bengalis had when the war was on in 1965. The East Pakistan had only 1 division to defend East Pakistan. You just imagine, 1 division is hardly about 10,000 odd troops. They had 3 brigades, and they say it was a fractured division. It was not even a full division. So this time, when the rebellion was on, when the internal strife was on, they had pumped in 2 more divisions, 3 divisions they had. Tika Khan was there, they started Operation Searchlight. Operation Searchlight in 1971, it used to be referred to a system wherein systematically you would go against your own people. They started killing people, and mostly the students of Dhaka University, Chittagong, and all these people were targeted. The academicians, the professionals, and the students were picked up. You would be picked up one night, and you wouldn't see the light of the day next day. And they would disappear from the face of this earth. That is what was happening. A conservative estimate say that about general understanding, neutral statement, they say more than 5 lakh people got killed and about 2 to 3 lakh women got raped. And see, the Pakistan army would, in a very morbid state of mind, would make statements that I could do this much, I could kill this much, I could rape this many girls, this many women, and this was happening actually. And this is the kind of mindset these people had. The Operation Searchlight on, what would happen then? You would have large number of people fleeing the place, the dispersed. India had, as I said, ab initio at the beginning, we had approximately 10 million refugees in our territory. 10 million you have to feed. And we had to open, because on humanitarian grounds, if you had kept them, you would have been partaking in the kind of Operation Searchlight Pakistan army unleashed on the East Pakistani normal ordinary citizens. So that was the time when Mrs. Gandhi decided that. So there were a number of reports coming. She went around. In fact, there are so many claims and counterclaims taking place. I will not go into all those details. The prelude was this. What forced Mrs. Gandhi was the 10 million refugees, the kind of brutalities being unleashed on the people there. Now, the kind of reports that she was receiving. Bangabandhu was in jail facing a death sentence in the West. There was no leader. That is the time when government was in exile was formed in India. It was formed in Bengal only, our Bengal, our side of the Bengal. They have formed a constitution. They made a constitution for the independent Bangladesh. And Tajuddin Ahmad was his number 2, number 3 at that time when the people went around. So he was made the prime minister in the absentia of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. The government in exile started operating. They had currencies even. They have made a constitution. So it is reported that in the record, the annals of history would say that the constitution of the present day Bangladesh was framed under the aegis of Border Security Force, our law branch. We have a law branch. So they assisted them. I'm forgetting the name, but the law branch assisted them, they did. And now on what? Because the East Bengal and West Bengal, the basic difference that they had was language, culture, the culture difference. Because Pakistan thought that because of the religion, the integration would be easier, they would join together. The country which defeated this, the country which proved that religion alone cannot work. You need to have an umbilical cord connecting it. You need to have a cultural connect. You need to have a language connect, linguistic connect. You need to be having a connect with the souls of people because you have disintegrated from the people's heart. The people did not want to stay with you now. They would want to be away from you. They started running away. 1 crore people out of 6 crore running away from the motherland. It is not a joke. 1 out of 6 people running away. That is. So this they did not have. It was a secular. They said, we believe in secularism. You believe in what? Islam. You believe in an Islamic republic. We don't believe in that kind of a republic. It is a democracy. It should be rather. It should be accommodative. So they went to, there is a place now called the Mujibur Nagar, very close to the border. They took the soil of that particular Mujibur Nagar. It was named as Mujibur Nagar in the name of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. And then they took pledge in the name of that mud or the soil there. Anyway, the war now. 1971 war, so many people got killed, maimed, injured, limbs lost, women got raped, and the army would make claims. And the West was not believing India. Mrs. Gandhi went around an offensive diplomatic mission around the world. She went to USA. Richard Nixon was there, then Henry Kissinger. We all know notorious people at that time. They were taking sides with Pakistan because the military friendship that they had, it was so strong, the bonding was so strong. It is a paradox actually, if you have to understand Virodhabas in Hindi. It is a paradox. A country which boasts of the biggest democracy is taking side with an authoritarian military junta. Whereas you had on the other hand, a democratic setup trying to save humanity. So they said nothing doing. We will not leave the hand of Pakistan. That is what the message Nixon had for Mrs. Gandhi. So she was given a state reception she had, a state dinner she had, but no help. She pleaded for taking back the refugees, pleaded for stoppage of all kind of atrocities, the kind of carnage that was on, but nothing happened. The West did not listen. One small reporter from Pakistan actually had blacked out the complete East Pakistan at that time, because before the war. So they sent in a hand-picked 8 journalists to East Pakistan, Dhaka first, then to Chittagong, Hill Tracks and all, where they were expected to report. And what kind of a report was expected? They were supposed to give a very flowery, fluffy report in favor of the defense, the way the army receiving them. They had all the photographs. The way people receiving army, they have arranged, managed, stage managed, so many people coming together to garland the army offices, so many people coming together to garland the journalists going there, so many people making so many kinds of report that you would find these days actually. It is a kind of Faustian compromise, or you may call it Goebbels compromise that you would make. We had a Goebbels in the history, if you understand. Many of you might have studied history at your early stages. So Goebbels was the propaganda minister of Germany. So he was a propaganda minister. What was his job? His job was to make all kinds of stories. Even when you would lose, he would make the story that Germany is winning. Germany has ended Poland, Germany has ended Spain, Germany has ended Netherlands, Germany has ended France, Germany has ended the English isolates, Germany has ended everywhere, Holland, Poland, everywhere. So, whereas when they were getting set back, he was still making these claims. And those were not the days where you had the kind of gadget that you hold today. It was through all kind of dailies, radios, and these were the mediums. And both sides was making up. So Goebbels is known for that, making false stories. So these people are also capable of making these kind of stories. So they wanted to make a stage-managed journalistic story about East Pakistan, everything flowery here, very well done, and the army being welcomed. They had a story to tell, many stories to tell, Pakistan. Pakistan would say that every time, that it all started with Bangabandhu's Awami League going on a carnage against the Bihari Muslims who were relocated from West Pakistan at the time of partitions, because the Mohajis, they used to call the people who went from here to Pakistan as the Mohajis. The Mohajis, a good number of them were relocated from West Pakistan to East Pakistan, mostly in Dhaka. So when this rift took place, when the conflict was on, the Bengalis naturally, when there is a conflict, you cannot be folding your hands and standing quiet and getting killed. So they also might have gone on a rampage. So they have killed about 300 Bihari Muslims. So taking that as a pretext, this Operation Searchlight they started. They had a story to tell the world that it is not at our behest, it was at the behest of these Bengalis. So this was on. So there was a journalist by the name Maskaranas. The other day, I think you should write down this name, Maskaranas. His report, I'll cut short that story. He went back, he goes to London. He said he refused to give a report on certain pretext. He goes to London and he finds some favorable reporter there, the London Times. It is referred to as the London Times. And this report came later on. It's a long story how he went there, what he told him, how much time he took, what he did to take out his family. You can read Maskaranas to understand. In Google you would get the story. So he made out a story as to what is happening in the East Pakistan. It was a big jolt to the conscience of the world. And this story was read by Mrs. Gandhi. Mrs. Gandhi in his memoir, she writes later on, if I have, I'll bring it out here. In the Google, what Mrs. Gandhi said about Maskaranas, you can ask. The Google will say that she said that one of the factors that influenced, the prelude, one of the factors that influenced me to go into war was this. Anyway, let us now come to December. Now, many things happened. This is not the full story that I told you. Hundreds of similar stories would be there, hundreds of things would be there, which prompted India to go to war. By second, third, we were debating what we should do. We had the refugees. We had the kind of atrocities going on there. We had bloodshed there. We were preparing the Bangladesh regulars, Niyamit, Aniyamit, they used to call their forces. In Bengali, Niyamit means regulars. The Oniyamit means irregulars. They had prepared forces, Indian Army, the border security force. Our academy moved into East. We have prepared these forces. They were called the Mukti Bahinis. Mukti Bahini means those who are there to free the country. That is Mukti. Mukti dena hai. So Mukti Vahini means the battalion only. Mukti Bahini means the liberation forces, basically, in English. So they were trained in large numbers. Several battalions they had. They had an irregular air force. They had an irregular navy. The Bangladesh irregular forces and regular, of course, they used to refer. So they were all ready. The carnage by August, somewhat it was on a balance. Till August 1971, Pakistan had an upper hand. Tika Khan could go on a rampage, kill so many people. It was about to be suppressed. People got fed up. In fact, when you get killed in large numbers, you would find people getting, neither they would lose the trike. They would think that our children getting killed, our relatives getting killed, the complete family is wiped out. There is no end to such kind of a carnage. So people, in a way, were out of their mind at that time. They ran away from places. The radio stations were getting bombed up. In fact, all those radio stations they created to tell the world as to what was happening. So anyway, they were ready and in position, of course. Indian Army also was ready, preparing all these days in case of an war. Now Pakistan gives us an opportunity on 3rd of December 1971. What was that opportunity? बोलता है ना, in Hindi there is an adage. An adage says that जब कुत्तों की मौत आता है, अभी कुत्तों की नाम भी नहीं ले पाएंगे आजकल. Actually, you cannot take the names of dogs. Recently, somebody took the name of dog and I gets a call from somewhere telling that you have taken the dog in a very bad way. So आई एम नॉट इन ए वेरी बैड वे, आई एम नॉट टेकिंग, आई एम जस्ट कुत्तों की मौत आता है, इट्स एन अडेज हिंदी यूसेज, बोलता है वो गांव की तरफ भागता है, तो इनकी मौत आ गया था, बोलता है दे रेडेड 11 एयरफील्ड्स ऑफ इंडिया इन द वेस्ट. This was happening in the east. What prompted Yahya Khan? It is beyond reasoning actually. It is beyond the understanding of all of us. Beyond any reason, any rationality. Why it is beyond reason? Because just look at the situation as of 3rd of December. We had almost 9 months to prepare. And this report, it is whatever we may say, these are secret, those are secret, the preparations are secret. But even in the past, things are in the glare actually. People would know as to what is happening. How we used to collect build-up intelligence. In the sense, if there is a build-up, we would know how. We would see large number of forces moving. Till yesterday, only 10 people would move in this area. So today I observe there are 20-30 people who are there. Day after I find, to my surprise, there are 50 people. So now I would start wondering as to from where all these 50 have come. This is a kind of intelligence build-up, we call it. And when it is collated, we would derive certain conclusions. We would derive certain conclusions which we call the intelligence. So this intelligence, they might definitely had that there is a guerrilla, irregular guerrilla force, very strong. And this guerrilla force is not like 100, 200, 500, which we refer to some of those extremist movements, left-wing extremists, how many? 500. How many Maoists are there? 300. And all these 300, 500, whatever we count, it is basically about the militias also. It includes the militias. In the case of Mukti Bahini, it was in several Vahinis, several battalions. They had then the Air Force, the independent exile governments, Air Force operating within the territory. And our presence also were there. Though the war was not declared, we would definitely have gone in. Naturally, you have to train people, you have to hold the ground, you have to understand as to what is the kind of path that you would have when you are going into war. The war was for certain. The war was for certain because there was no let up in the complete build-up. There was no let up in the atrocity. There was no let up in anything. So the war was to take place, the preparation was on. The Pakistan would have had all the intelligence in the world to understand that India is ready. And not only India is ready, more than India, it is the Bangladesh Liberation Forces. This war is not called, we refer to it as Indo-Pak War of 1971. In the history also, in our history, it is Indo-Pak. You refer to the history of Bangladesh, what they would refer to this? You know the reference that they would make. What is it? They don't call it as Indo-Pak War. The Bangladeshis call it as BD Liberation War. The War of Independence. They call it because it was a war for their independence. They got liberated in 1971 basically because of this war. So it is a liberation war. And actively they participated. For us, the war was fought for 13 days. But for them, the war was fought for the 9 months. Actively they participated. From March 27 till 16, the instrument of accession signed. So they fought there. We were there only for few months, maybe few days in active war. So this is, they call it independence, the BD Liberation War, Bangladesh Liberation War, the War of Independence, Bangladesh. They would refer to it as like that. And they had already declared independence year by 25th, 26th of March 1971, Bangladesh declared we are independent. And this message was picked up by so many radios in the world. The first one to pick up was the Japanese radio. Anyway, 3rd December, it is a mystery. It is beyond reasoning. It is beyond any kind of a meaning that you could attribute that the Yahya Khan all of a sudden decides to attack our air bases in the west. It included all the air fields right on or along the border. What could have prompted them? I cannot tell you. And that is not even in history, and even the Indian military or any intelligence would tell you as to why they did it. Because ये तो गाँव की तरफ भाग रहा था. So that was a time, at that time Mrs. Gandhi was making a speech there in Kolkata, Brigade Maidan, and then she had to return to announce to the cabinet and to the whole world through radio that India is today at war with Pakistan, and now she orders the Indian army to move into, because without declaring war you can't go into somebody's territory. You cannot cross the border. You may think that I am very powerful. Vis-a-vis Mexico, USA is so powerful, but can a USA, the American soldier cross into Mexico without their permission. No. We have flag meetings and all. Our people, they go into the neighborhood for a meeting, conferences. We go to even Lahore, Karachi, wherever it is, the meeting is arranged. We can go to Dhaka. We do that. That is duly arranged. We have DGLTs taking place, Director General level talk. That can be in one of these places. That is with due permission. But without the consent of the other nation, you can't, without declaring a war, particularly in uniform. So, on 3rd of December, we had the license to go in. And going for the kill, just imagine the 1939 to 45 Second World War. 6 years it took. 6 years it took the complete elite forces, the might of the forces of the ilk of USA, the complete Europe, except one or two, and Russia, USSR, the erstwhile Russia, the Soviet Union, which we refer to. All these people put together, they took 6 years for the Germany to be capitulated. It took 6 years. So, in 13 days, some country, how can somebody fall? Because everything was ready. It's one of the fastest war. A shorter version of this war was only Israeli war. They say that when 3rd of December, when they attacked the Indian air bases, it was similar. The attack is equated to the attack by the Israeli forces on the date I am forgetting. That used to be the Operation Focus, they used to call it. That was an attack similar nature they attacked. So this was like Operation Focus. The war started with that, and it resulted in 13-day war with Pakistan, and on 16th of December it ended in Dhaka. And I'll show you this, you can see. You have seen this photograph? It's a beautiful photograph. And in nutshell, this is the prelude and the war. And you would find General J.S. Arora just looking at the signature of Niazi. Niazi is signing. General A.K. Niazi was a commander-in-chief in the East Pakistan. So Niazi is signing that when the East Pakistan capitulated, 13 days war. J.J. Singh Arora was the commander-in-chief, Eastern Command, Indian Army, and you would find the flag officer commanding Eastern Command, Eastern Naval Command, Vice Admiral Krishnan there in the white, and all those people there. You would find Jacob there, rightmost is General Jacob, the Chief of Staff, Eastern Command. And this is a beautiful picture. You would find is a secular picture. I refer to this picture as a secular picture. These days, actually, it has a lot of importance. You would find people, the officers, generals, admirals, and air marshals of all ilk, from all religions, all secular forces. If one is a Jew, General Jacob is a Jew. Somebody is a Sardar, Sikh. Somebody is a Rajput, somebody is something else. So you would find all religions being represented. In the war we fought, it was secular war by secular forces against a force which has shown one of the most worst atrocities or genocide in the history of human being on this planet. And the second biggest surrender, or the biggest surrender post Second World War. This was the biggest surrender. Rather, there is no surrender bigger than that even until today. 93,000 people were POWs in that. It included civilians also. There was it included civilian prisoners in the sense that Mr. Hussain was there. He's a chief administrator in the East Pakistan. So this is what the photograph speaks of everything. The story speaks of everything. Now, what are the complexities? Let us come to, I don't know how much time it took. 10, 15, 20 minutes, I'll take the complexities of this war we have to understand. Because these days people make many kind of a representation. We talk in different tones. Somebody feeling sleepy, something? It's all right? Hansis, it's all right? Yes, so I have, in fact, not as a historian I have spoken to you. It came out as a story actually, if you have to understand it. It is a kind of story being told, though this story is any time far, far better and superior than any novel that could be written. So we refer to Entebbe Nairobi as one of the finest historical operations, military operations in the history of the military operations. Entebbe Nairobi. And this operation was far bigger than that in larger magnitude, taking place in so many fronts, in the Eastern Theatre, Western Theatre, encompassing. See, subsequent to the operation, the result of it was, at that time I am referring to, we produced the 7th largest country on this planet in demography. Population wise, the 7th largest country. At that time, Bangladesh was standing at, now they are about 10th or 11th. Pakistan has overtaken many after that. So we had India, of course, then at number 2, now number 1. China topping at that time, India number 2, USA number 3, USSR number 4, Japan number 5, and Germany 6, and 7th country was Bangladesh. No, in between Indonesia is there, and 7th was Bangladesh. So this is what it is. We produced the 7th largest demography, not democracy. Demography in the world. 13-day shortest war, took about 93,000 prisoners, brought to Delhi. We have to feed them. Now the biggest question, the India was rejoicing, military was rejoicing. I as a child, we rejoiced. My father was in army. My Tau, Chacha, all these people were in army. One got maimed, rather seriously injured. They said that he was missing in action. He was MIA, missing in action, for about 5 days. So we thought he would be no more actually. My father's immediate younger brother. So we got him back after 4 days. They said they stepped on a mine. He was working with the Madras sappers, engineers basically. So they were to clear the mine field. The mine exploded, and probably the pressure of the mine was so much, it took him up to the air for a few meters, and he was hanging on a branch of tree. 3-4 days somebody went, found him. His survival instinct was so great, he survived. Even today he is there, still there. So our people were there. Every household had somebody there at that time. So people rejoiced it because we have lost, we have won also. We have lost in the Western Front, we have lost Kukri, one of our finest frigates. We lost it. And Captain Mullah's story is a great story to be told another day. Maybe after my departure from here, somebody would come and tell you, talk about it. Not today at least. So we have done wonders in that 1970. But what are the complexities of this 1971 war? People were enjoying, rejoicing, celebrating the war victory. That is what we generally do. If today we have a small kind of a victory on anything, but nobody would want to go on a war tour we call it. War is not a bloody celebration actually. Even when we win, we lose. We lose so many things. We lose our people, we lose our property, we lose our infrastructure. Our nation is taken back by so many decades. If you have to, in real terms, if you have to look at it, any country for that matter, no country would want to go on war. It is forced, that is what I said. So Mrs. Gandhi was glossing over as to what would happen, because in the East Bangladesh, what was knitting together a newborn child, a newborn nation, was Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. He was not there. He was the leader who was putting together everything. He was putting together every leader, every party. He was putting together every kind of a political thinking. He was putting together every kind of a military thinking. If he is not there, she was looking at having a disintegrated Bangladesh. One Pakistan was more than sufficient to create nonsense in our territory, poking their nose every time within our country. You would have so many disintegrated Pakistan around our territory. So that nobody wanted. Mrs. Gandhi would understand it far better. She was an astute leader. She was thinking of how to get her back, get Sheikh Mujibur Rahman back from the clutches of the military junta in the West. So immediately after the war, the outcomes of war, so many. So I'll touch upon one thing. The CMLA, Yahya Khan resigned on 20th of December. 4 days of war, he said, because complete setup was against him. So they said, now he had to go. He resigned and appointed Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. That is what he wanted also, as the Chief Martial Law Administrator. Bhutto was administered, he was appointed as, so he was then telegrammed. At that time he was camping in Washington. He was asked to come back immediately, but before coming back, he was asked to meet Nixon, come back via Heathrow. So this news went to Mrs. Gandhi. Kitchen cabinet was convened immediately. In that, this story, there's a story, you can write down the name Shashank S. Banerjee. Shashank S. Banerjee was the first officer with our High Commission there in London. He has first-hand information because he was the man who has done actually this. He says that in 1971, immediately after getting the news that this man has resigned and appointed Bhutto as the CMLA, he is on his way back. So Mrs. Gandhi now, after the meeting, decides to contact Bhutto. And he could not have been contacted once he lands up there in Pakistan anywhere. So now he wanted to be intercepted in between. Okay, where he could have been, that was Heathrow. So Shashank S. Banerjee was tasked. This story is also a long story, I am just cutting short. He was contacted, he was told that there is a Laila Hussain by name. It is a very interesting story when you read this. I told you that when the Pakistan capitulated in 1971, the chief administrator or chief secretary in East Pakistan at that time was Mr. Hussain, Mir Hussain. His wife's name was Laila Hussain. When the war broke out, Laila Hussain was camping in Heathrow, London. She could not come back because the war was on. Now, Laila Hussain, how she becomes important, what R.N. Kaur told Mrs. Gandhi, that this Laila Hussain was the fiancée of Bhutto before her marriage. So, she could anytime influence Bhutto if she can be tasked. She is there in London. See how the intelligence operatives work. So, she can be contacted if she can be tasked that your husband would be safe and we can make her to talk to each other. So, immediately he was put up in a VIP guest room with Mr. D.P. Dar. He was a policy planning head of Government of India at that time. So, he was housed with D.P. Dar, this Mir Hussain. And Mir Hussain was made to talk to Laila Hussain in a very, very nice and polished way. And after that, she was contacted through Shashank S. Banerjee, who conveyed her that you can meet Mr. Bhutto. Your husband could be released with one stroke. What you should do, go and tell Bhutto what he thinks of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Let us have the answer. So, to cut short the story goes like that. She goes, intercepts Bhutto, comes back and make a report like this. This first hand, he says that this report is taken by Shashank S. Banerjee. He is writing about it. He was a diplomat, career diplomat. He is writing about it. He says that after coming back, he tells that I spoke to him. He says that Bolta is not a fool, Bhutto. Bolta, he calls me, take me aside, tells me that I know you are from Mrs. Gandhi. You are coming from Mrs. Gandhi. Go back and tell her, as soon as I take charge as the CMLA, the first thing that I would do is to release Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. What I want in return, I'll tell her later. This is one-word communication and this was passed and at least it was guaranteed that he would not be killed because he was already a convict. So, he was released on 8th of March, I think 8th of March 1972 and the rest is history. You refer to history, it would say that he comes back via Heathrow. He goes to Heathrow, westward, and then from Heathrow there was a direct flight to Dhaka. 8th he reaches and 10th he takes over as the Prime Minister of Bangladesh. This is the story. Now, what is the complex outcome? So, when we talk about many things that has happened in history, when you look at the outcome of the war, we say we have squandered the advantage that we had. In a chessboard, we generally, when we talk, we recently also, we have chess games. We understand it in a better way. We have pawns. We consider the war is like a chess movement. Like you move certain pawns. And then you have all the coins moving around, bishop, rook, elephant, queen. These are very powerful coins. Queen is very powerful. Knight is also very powerful. It jumps many columns over the head of others, isn't it? How many of you play chess? So many. Oh, very good. So the war is not like a chess game, though we equate it with that. Strategy, tactics, everything is involved. That's all right. But it is not a chess game. The strategy, there's no strategic planning in chess game. Long-term planning is there, of course. You look at several moves ahead, of course, in a chess game. But in actual life, it is not like that. The opportunity that comes, it is different than what you expect generally. Every time you get different opportunities. Every time you get in life, throws open many opportunities which are otherwise not expected. And the expected opportunities never comes. Life never throws open anything which is on expected lines. This is what it is. In the instant case also, same thing happened. So, this man goes take over as Prime Minister. Now, we had 95,000. You look at 10 million people. Can you imagine, just make a statistical count? India was a pauper country in 1970. We were not even, I did not talk about the India's meeting with the Lyndon Johnson. Mrs. Gandhi had met Lyndon Johnson in 1967 before Nixon came into power. 1971, we were on foot stamp sort of a thing. I am telling you this. In fact, we were not self-contained. Self-contained we become only after the Green Revolution. Green Revolution by whom? Recently, can you remember Dr. Subramaniam? Swaminarayan. So the Green Revolution, father of Green Revolution. Otherwise, we were not even having the wheat for 50% of our people. We were to import it. We did not have the money. Then America said, we will not give you wheat because you are not listening to us. So that forced Mrs. Gandhi to go for the Green Revolution. Actually, many things that would happen. Actually, at that time, you think that this country, this man has done like this. This woman has done like this. So I am let down. This country has done like this, let down. No. Because of that, we went for Green Revolution. We went for Green Revolution. We had a White Revolution. But so many things have taken place because somebody forced certain things on us. So we were on food stamps, and then we were to feed 1 crore people, the refugees. And imagine today's count, minimum 100 rupees you have to spend on each individual. Isn't it? How much it would be one day? Minimum I am telling you, then you need to give them shelter, you need to give them some space, electricity is required, you need to give them so many things, basic things, the fundamental things. 1 billion minimum? 1 million? Into how many days? It is an unending process. So Mrs. Gandhi was requesting the whole world, you do something, these people are here. Now you would want them to go back to their respective places. 95,000, we said, and another allegation is that we had about almost 93,000 people with us. So we squandered what we would have bargained because there is a Geneva Convention. You can't kill a chap, you can't maim him, you can't extract anything out of him against his will as per Geneva Convention. He may be a soldier surrendered. He may be a POW, we call it, prisoner of war. He is not a trophy. It is not trophy. You cannot take him around and tell that a Pakistani soldier, look at him, look at his face. You can't do like this. You have to accommodate him. You have to give him shelter. You have to give him clothing. You have roti, kapda, makan, sab to dena padega. You have to give them everything, make him comfortable. And at what cost? What would you get? And a state like Pakistan, they would disown. In Kargil war, they said, nobody, they are not ours. So Pakistan is capable of telling, in 2016, we had an encounter in which we killed 2, and a chap was almost dying, but I said, let us try, he is a human being, he should be saved. He was taken around to a hospital where he was given proper treatment and he got saved. So I said, this man, because he has committed a crime, he would be tried here. And I know about his place also from where he was, this Pakistani. It was close to the border only. So we took him, there's a place called Sadiki. You have heard about Atari border, isn't it? Atari border. So we have, Sadiki is also similar to that. It is a retreat where we have this joint retreat, we call it. Forces from both the countries, they would come together, there would be a parade, and a proper marching is there, and a euphoria is created. You go there, when you watch that, it is very exhilarating, isn't it? You really enjoy it. Similar is the case in Sadiki. Sadiki is a southernmost retreat. So I took this man, I asked the battalion CEO, it is Aman's batchmate, I asked him, you take him there, on of course handcuffs, keep him there, call the company commander, and fortunately I also had gone there. I was in the background. So I was told that the battalion wing commander, they are referred to as wing commanders. Battalion CEO equivalent in ranges, battalion commander is wing commander. The wing commander was there by coincidence. So I requested MB Singh, my battalion CEO, to request that wing commander to come without even telling him as to why. So since he was there, he joined. So when he joined, then he was told that, this is your boy. He is from that village. So in the meantime, the Meli, this Pakistani Punjabi people, they had come, they came to know that this man is now taken as a prisoner. For them, smuggling attempt, or he was carrying large number of heroin, large number of weapons, everything. We took him into custody. And they were crying there, he is taken captive, they are under BSF, so give him back to us. So these people, well, this chap belongs to that village. So ask them to come closer. We just wanted to videograph. So this wing commander straight away, he is not a Pakistani, he says that. He is not a Pakistani. Pakistanis will never do like this. This is the biggest paradox with Pakistan. They do everything, and when the mauka comes, opportunity comes, they say they don't do anything. So this would have happened then also. If they were not to be returned, they would have said they are not our soldiers. Pata nahi Dhaka mein kahan se aa gaye. They would have said, we do not know from where they have come in Dhaka. Who says there is an instrument of Pakistan? They have even disowned Niazi. Do you know this? Niazi signed the instrument of signature, which I have shown you. This is Niazi in photograph in uniform. Pakistani army uniform is khaki. So he was signing that. When he went back after similar agreement, 2nd August 1972, they disowned him. He was removed of all the responsibilities, shunned, and he was, nobody knows, nondescript place he was sent. Nobody knows what happened to him. Probably he would have been bumped off. So Pakistan is capable of doing. So there are so many, the complex outcome was the biggest problem, Bangabandhu, not there. He had to be, say that in the international diplomacy, generosity is represented and reflected and reciprocated by equal amount or more of generosity. When somebody shows any generosity, that is to be shown back. So Bhutto has shown, because he was just trading, he was just negotiating, he was just trading a pact. He has sent out this chap, Bangabandhu, knowing fully well Mrs. Gandhi needs him and rather Bangladesh needs him more than anybody. Without him, Bangladesh would not have been integrated, Bangladesh would have been disintegrated, there would have been more Bangladesh, it would have been like when a Hydra, you know, science students would, Hydra? What happens when you cut a Hydra? There would be 2 Hydras. When you cut 2 Hydras, you would have 4 Hydras. So when you cut Hydra, when you cut a country like this, you would have 2, then 4, then 6. Pakistan, once it would start the Western Pakistan this time, because there is a lot of turmoil taking place. Baluch, they have problems. Sindh, they have problems. Northwestern Frontier Province, they have problems. Within Punjab, there are problems. And there are problems between Muhajirs and regulars. There are internal strife and inconsistencies and all kind of incoherence. You would come across all kind of difficult situations. So they have that. And these difficulties and inconsistencies would definitely lead to the kind of disintegration that is bound to happen. There is no doubt about it. So here we would have had a situation where a Hydra would have caused 2 Hydras, and 2 Hydras would have caused 4 Hydras. So we did not want, and that Bhutto helped us, definitely. And then he was expecting something in similar agreement. So many things happened. The complexities was to stabilize Bangladesh, which was in turmoil. All the bridges were broken off, because you know, when for 6-7 months, before the war, 9 months rather, these forces, irregulars, now they have to protect themselves. It is not that you would just throw open yourself like in the old stories, when there is a dragon demanding a human being every day, you would throw open one human being, you would be satisfied, it won't kill more. The second day it would come again. It is not like that. It is like using of massive weapons against the normal human being. So they had broken most of the bridges. Many bridges were broken with the hope that the Indian army would not. So it has to be reconstructed. The nation had to be reconstructed. Number 2, the biggest complex situation was that we did not want more jihadis to take over, because the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was a secular man. The Awami League was a secular party. Even today, if you have to look at it, the last 3 terms, starting with 19, the last election we have had, last year we had an election. And if you have to look at it, we have a stable government in Bangladesh, the fastest growing economy we have. Can you understand one thing? You have to just make a comparison. In the pre-1971 era, West Pakistan's budget allocation was 75% of the total budget allocation. They had hardly 20-25%. About 5-10% this was kept for the central accounts, central schemes. So they had the more population, the least of budgets. They had no job. The representation of East Bengal, I did not go into these things, complex situations. I did not go into the kind of disparities being created, discriminations that was faced by the East Pakistan. 5% in forces, no jobs, no government job for Bengalis. And Bengalis would be stooped down, looked down at by the West Pakistan. They were the martial Qawmis, Pashtuns and Punjabis. Even today, the Pakistanis believe that there are only 2, in our case also, we also have certain Qawms which claim that we are the real warriors. Mocha comes, you do not know who would fight. In 1971, the Bengali, they would say Bengali is useless. Bengali, they can't fight. But 1971, the very same Bengalis, inga gudna laga diya hai niche. Pakistan was made to stoop to that level. They started begging in 16 days. It was predominantly, basically, and fundamentally done by the very same Bengalis who are called as Pusdil. They used to call them as Darpok, cowards in English. Who used to call it? The Punjabis and Pashtuns. Even today they would say that we are the real warriors. Bolta Rajput. The Pakistan ki Rajput hai, bolta Punjabis and Pashtuns. They don't consider Sindhis, Baluchs as warriors. So this was what has happened. So I will now cut short because the story is very long. The complex situation, 2nd of August, we had many advantages. We had more than 13,500 square kilometer area with us. We had 95,000 POWs with us. We had large number of, I am referring to 13,500 square kilometer area, which included the LOC. Kargil we kept and some of the advantageous areas we kept, but we have given back some of those areas which we could have kept. There is no doubt about it. We could have bargained with a few individuals. We claim that we have given back every POW, but Pakistan failed to reciprocate rightly. So few issues are to be understood in the context which I said. There were larger problems in 1971. The larger problems of refugees, larger problems of feeding them, larger problems of stabilizing Bangladesh, the larger problems of having a stable government even in West Pakistan, having a democratic setup in West Pakistan, which would not poke their nose into our homely domestic affairs. Though the Pakistan and Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, who got killed 6 years down the line, in 1977 he got hung. At the hands of whom? Zia-ul-Haq, who was his protege. He killed him by hanging. They had a judicial verdict against him on a treason case, and then he was killed. Or you may refer to it as judicial killing is not referred to as killing, but he was hung. This happened. All these things would have happened in Pakistan. Pakistan only it can happen. Either you get bumped off, or you get killed, or you have a judicial killing. That happens in our immediate neighborhood. So we have a neighbor which creates even today problem. We have problem in the western from some of the areas where they try to intrude, they try to infiltrate. The same thing which they have done in the east, they would continue doing it because that is basically the character, the DNA of a nation. When you are born with certain DNA. What is DNA? The DNA that you and me were born with. The character formation takes place. So these were some of those complexities which were dealt in 1971. 2nd August we had a similar agreement. So we exchanged few things which we had advantage. Then we got back also something. The biggest trophy that Mrs. Gandhi probably got was Sheikh Mujibur Rahman in March same year. I said 8th March 1972. So I would stop my talk here. There are much to be talked about. We will sit here in the panel discussion, and should you have entertained any doubt, should you have anything to ask, don't be restrained by what we have spoken. Anything that you have, you can ask us, and we will try our level best to answer that within our experience and knowledge and our maturity. Thank you so much, and I hope you have enjoyed this small historical story. History is his story. It could have been her story also, but it is history. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Today we are just going to witness the second aspects of 1971 war outcomes, and it is definitely an eye-opening and thought-provoking session for all of us. We will definitely enlightened with the sir insights. And if you have any questions, you can ask with sir during panel discussion. So, or in our next session, we are just going to organize in the series of events on panel discussion on the importance of leadership in nation building. Sure, sir. Once again, good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to our event on the panel discussion that is on importance of leadership in nation building. Once again, I am Vishal Rana, Deputy Commandant, a facilitator of today's discussion. And firstly, I am just going to invite our panels to come on dais and please sit as per their seating arrangements, sir. Dr. S. Bharat. Mr. Chaitanya, Captain Chaitanya. Sorry. Thereafter, K.R. Devraj, K.R. Devraj, sir. Nandakumar. Sorry. Nandakumar. Yeah. Yes, please. Nandakumar. Yeah. And then our Sri Hemant Kumar Jha, DIG, sir. And our beacon of excellence, our head of institution, Sri Ipen PV, PMMS, IG, SETCO BSF Bangalore. Please have a big round of applause. Today we have a distinguished panel of experts who will share their insights and experiences on leadership and its role in shaping the future of our nation. But before we dive into our discussion, let's take a moment for introduction of our distinguished panelists. First, let me introduce the panel, Dr. S. Bharat. Could you please introduce yourself and your expertise in a particular domain?
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr. Bharat. I did my PhD as well as postdoc at Indian Institute of Science. So my research is in environment ecology using geospatial technologies. I teach courses in computer science department at Chanakya University. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, could you please, Captain Chaitanya, ma'am, to our audience today?
Jai Hind, sir. Good morning, everybody. I'm Captain Chaitanya, Associate Insisu Officer, Chanakya University, from the School of Mathematics and Natural Sciences. My expertise and working area is on bioremediation, heavy metal remediation of soil by using microorganisms which are particularly extracted from the contaminated soil in Tamil Nadu. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. There is no need to introduce Ajay sir. I already heard a lot of about Ajay sir. So we have just moved to our DIG sir. Please, sir, please introduce yourself to our audience today.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Hemant Kumar Jha. I think probably Vishal has introduced me at your university when I had gone with Ajay sir. I'm DIGCI here. I'm chief instructor here. And I have been associated with this technical things in BSF. I established first daily tracking system in BSF. And then I have also worked in IT field. And I have been posted in far-flung areas also. And in militancy infested areas and in far-flung areas of Northeast. And I have experience of 34 years of experience in BSF. So I will be answering your questions, whatever questions which comes to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And finally, I request, sir, could you please share a bit about your background and expertise in particular field, sir?
Good afternoon. I am Devraj KR. ex-Senate member for Bangalore University and present syndicate member for Tumkur University, nominated by Honorable Governor of Karnataka and board member for Tumkur University.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now we acquaint ourselves with our panelists today. Now we have to delve into our discussion. The first question, I'm just going to start as a facilitator. First question from the panelist, what do you believe are the most critical qualities of effective leadership in the context of nation building? And my question is from Bharat sir.
Thanks for the question, and I feel the leader should have a vision. So, and also leader should be the self-disciplined. So, if we are considering somebody as a leader, so he should set an example. So, we always see the people just preach without practice. So, the leader is the one who has to preach as well as practice. So, we have so many leaders, and I should say that we have so many live examples who are not only just preaching, they are practicing. And first and foremost thing is the discipline is very, very essential for anyone to see the success. So there are so many times we feel that there are people who just got success in a very short span of time. But if you see in a long run, the people who are self-disciplined, also who respect the nation and who have the self-values, those are the people see the success which stays long time. So if you take the people like Abdul Kalam, see there are so many people in ISRO and other associated organizations. They have done very well as compared to the Sir Abdul Kalam. But he has been seen as a role model because he has practiced and he preached what he practiced. So that make anyone to be the leader, and also who take the next generation with him or her based on their values. I feel that values is the essential component to see as a successful person.
Very interesting perspectives. Now I would like to request IG sir. Do you have any additional thought on this, sir?
I think very appropriately covered by Dr. Bharat. Basically the question is the qualities that you would look for
Yes, sir.
in a leader in nation building.
Nation building, sir.
See, look into history to find those leaders. Second World War is the most approximate history, and then we have our own at home, domestic in 1971. Nations were there, nations disintegrated. Germany was probably the mightiest of nations as of 1939. If you have to look at economically very sound, politically also very sound, because it almost was Nazi Germany means one party Germany, an authoritarian government they had, very speedily progressing government they had, and the nation was very powerful. The per capita income probably at that time was the highest in 1939. Yet it disintegrated. What made the difference? If you have to look at the qualities that exuded or that you would find in Hitler and the qualities that you would find in other leaders, you just make a comparison vis-a-vis UK. Almost for about 3 years, they led the war till the time when USA came into being. Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister of UK after Chamberlain. And what was Hitler and what was Germany? Hitler was a very astute leader, of course, and he was very good. He was a non-drinker, non-smoker, and all those virtues that you would want to find in a normal person and a leader, of course. And Winston Churchill was a leader who had all the vices in the world. I'm just making a comparison to make you understand nation building. But at the time of war, in 1940, when he came into being as a Prime Minister, Chamberlain was asked to go because the nation was sinking at that time. Churchill came into being as a Prime Minister. A man with all the vices, all the bad qualities that you would expect in anybody for that matter. Leaving aside all those things, he could lead the nation well, and he could integrate the nation. He could exhort upon the people to fight back. Nation building is all about building the nation under difficult situations. Nation building is not about building the nation when the nation is already built. You can live comfortably under a built-up house. You only need to maintain it a little bit. Even if you don't maintain it, you can still live for another 30, 40 years, nothing would happen. But to build up a disintegrated, dilapidated, a house, a home, a nation, bring it back to the patri, the trike, and then lead it successfully, that is leadership. And what all were the qualities that was on display in Churchill at that time? I am just taking the name of Churchill, and I could have taken anybody else, because the most pounded country as of 1940 or 1939, 40, 41 was UK. Despite the fact that it is not the part of mainland Europe. The qualities, leadership quality, that man said that I will be with you. I have nothing to offer but blood, tears, toil and sweat. We have a kind of tyranny that has never been resembled in the history of this planet. Well, I am just picking up from here and there. He has referred to the ordeal that the country was facing, which is not equal or parallel in the history. And what he offered, he said that we'll fight them, fight Germany, fight the Axis powers on land, in the waters and in the sky. 24/7. The leadership, whether he has practiced or not, he must have, he would not have been a person to practice it. He was like that because that man demanded 2 peg, 3 peg every night. The man was into all kinds of vices. But at least he could convince the country that he would be there in thick and thin, he would be able to lead them through all the kind of difficult situations that the country would go, the trade, and he has actually done it also during that time. And now what happens to him when the war ended? In the next election, he lost the election. He led the war to victory, but he lost the election when he went into election next time. So leadership quality, I would answer it now. Having said this made this two, comparisons, the qualities that you would want to find in a leader who would want to build this nation well, number one, he should be a leader who should be a very good visionary, who can look into the future and tell. He should be able to extrapolate well. He should be able to see both difficult situations and the good things that would happen in the future, and to trade his path rightly and on the right way. And then he should also be a good communicator, a person well conversant with the things, a person who can put his nation on the right track by educating his people, telling his people to study well, educate yourself, and I think these are some of those qualities that you would want to see in a leader who would be building the nation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Very fascinating point of view, sir. Now my question is from Devraj, sir. How can young leaders, including students, soldiers, and NCC cadets, contribute in the progress and development of our nation through their unique perspectives and experiences?
Actually, in my view, the youngsters' youth power is nation's power.
I am asking this question because I think you are ex-NCC cadet, na?
Yes.
That's why.
Yes, I am ex-NCC cadet.
Yes, yes.
Youth power is nation's power. We have to contribute nation by our dedication. Actually, I am not so comfortable with English really, so that I can't express my real views.
No, you can express in Hindi also. You can express in Hindi also.
I can say in Kannada. Is it comfortable? No, many cannot understand. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಯುವಕರು ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ದೇಶದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕಾಳಜಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ದೇಶದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ದೇಶಭಕ್ತಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಏನನ್ನಾದರೂ ಸಾಧಿಸ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಭಾಳಷ್ಟು ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗಳಿದೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಯಂಗ್ಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲೇಜುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಗಳಿಂದ, ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಬಿಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಸ್. ಮೆನಿ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟೀಸ್, ಭಾಳಷ್ಟು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಗಳು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ನ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಚಾಣಕ್ಯ ಈಸ್ ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಟು ದಟ್. ಯಂಗ್ಸ್ಟರ್ಸನ್ನು ಈ ರೀತಿಯ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಫಾರ್ಮನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ನೇಷನ್, ಆವಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ನ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಮೆನಿ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ಡ್ರಗ್ಸ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಯಂಗ್ಸ್ಟರ್ಸು ಕೂಡ ಹೈಸ್ಕೂಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಪಿ ಯು ಸಿ ಸ್ಟೇಜಸಲ್ಲಿ ಡ್ರಗ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಅಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಡೀ ತಮ್ಮ ಕೆರಿಯರನ್ನು ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯೂತ್ಸ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಆ ಡ್ರಗ್ಸ್ ಅಡಿಕ್ಷನಿಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಡೀ ದೇಶ ಕಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಥ್ರೆಟ್ ನಮಗೆ ಅದೇ ಥ್ರೆಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಡ್ರಗ್ಸ್ ಅಡಿಕ್ಷನ್. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ NCC ಕೆಡೆಟ್ಸು ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ, ಏಕೆಂದರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ದೇಶ ಯಾವ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ ದಿಕ್ಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು, ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಕಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನನ್ನು ಕೊಡಲೇಬೇಕು, ದೇಶಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಅವರನ್ನು ಸರಿಪಡಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
Thank you. I think if Captain Chaitanya can elaborate the same, since she belongs from Karnataka only.
To add to what Devraj sir said, as he is from the NCC background, he is an ex-NCC cadet, and he's also completed All India Nausainik camp in 2000, and he was a bronze medalist then. So, to add to whatever he said, as we know, the motto of NCC is unity and discipline. Unity of nation and discipline of self. Aim of NCC is fostering the leadership among the youth. As all of us know, NCC is the world's largest uniform organization, which will going to contribute to the nation building in various perspectives. To set an example, I have two cadets. One is Lieutenant Colonel Bhavna. She was NCC cadet in 2010, and she is in Indian Army. She is serving in Indian Army. The other one is Captain Sai Pradarshini. She is from 2013 batch. She has been inducted into Indian Army again into EME branch. So apart from that, I also have got a cadet who is a bronze medalist in Asian Games. Usha Rani, she is in the police forces now, and many more such examples. What it says is NCC will going to give a wide opportunity for the leaders to come up. Leadership is not about commanding anybody, but leadership is about empathy. Leadership is about taking decisions when you are under stress. Because all of us are not very well equipped to take decision at all the times, especially when we are under stress. So taking right decision at right time, that too especially when we are in stress or distress condition, makes one of the important qualities of a leader. So the training what we're going to impart in NCC, that military training which will be imparted to cadets, most of my cadets agree with me. The amount of change what they've had physically and mentally compared to when were there in the first year till now, there's a tremendous of change that has been acknowledged by each and every teachers, including Dr. Setu Bharat and Dr. Nandakumarji would actually agree with me. The amount of change, drastic change the NCC has built among these students when they were as a civil students, and now they've become NCC cadets. I could acknowledge that by saying the National Cadet Corps, the largest youth organization of the world, has imparted and imparting to have great leaders into the world. To give an example, we also have got our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi was also NCC cadet, and Sushma Swaraj ji was NCC cadet, Kiran Bedi ji, to name any, the achievers, leaders who are from the NCC background. It will going to give a greatest platform for the youth to contribute towards nation building.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to request Aji sir, the same question I am just going to ask in different perspectives. How can the experiences and insight gained from defense sector in BSF particularly, or a student from universities or NCC cadets during their NCC training, sir, they are integrated to develop holistic approach to nation building that encompass security, education, and youth empowerment, sir. How can all these can contribute in development of nation and youth empowerment, sir? Whatever they are gained in their respective fields, sir. Whether it is in a student of Chanakya University in academics, sir, BSF soldiers in particular insights or experiences gained here, or NCC cadets gain anything, any experience during their training, sir. Sir, question, okay, sir. How can the experiences and insights gains from the defense sector, that means BSF, academia, and NCC be integrated to develop holistic approaches to nation building, and encompass security, education, and youth empowerment?
It's basically about the experience
Yes.
that contributes to the cause of the
Yeah.
nation. See, like I have put in about 38 years service, so is the case with most of us. He is having more than 34 years. So you all have certain experiences. Basically, experience is the biggest teacher. See, in academy or an education institution, mostly you learn through the theoretical knowledge. And the life is basically a laboratory. And your experience is the laboratory testing equipment actually. When I joined when I look back in 1986 I joined, like a novice I joined, like you all, knowing not much, but thinking that I know much. Only after joining and undergoing the kind of training that we have undergone, the rigors of that, and then going to the field and learning from there, first hand or the hands-on training, then only we realize that we know too little actually. We know too little, well, nothing almost. Gradually we pick up, and these are the experiences that is being built up. We call it practical wisdom. Practical wisdom is such a thing, repeatedly when you do something, your practical wisdom goes up. You understand many things. The theoretical knowledge to put into use, that is useless actually most of the time, that you cannot put into use. So whatever experience that you gain, I gain, or somebody else, even a factory employee gain, or you as young budding, the NCC cadets gain, that can definitely be put into nation building and to the cause of the society. Particularly, nation building is basically what? Nation starts with the first individual. The nation is built from the foundation stone of an individual, and then the society, his immediate society, his family, then society. Then comes all those things in the hierarchy. So when you add value to that, the lesson that you have learned, the practical wisdom that you have gained, when you add value to this society, if you are not putting it into the cause of the society, then it is useless. We all can add. At the age of 60 almost now, if I am not sharing the experience that I have undergone, if I am not telling you this is good, that is bad, why you need a leader, first of all. You need a leader because it is generally conceived and understood that the leader knows better than at least the led. Leader knows better than the followed. He would be able to tell you the better perspective. He would be able to give you a better perspective than his followed or his led he understands. So that is why you need a person at the pinnacle, at the top. So he tells you that this is the right path. He is like a shepherd basically, guiding the sheep on the right path. You're guiding the sheep on the path where the wolves won't be there, guiding the sheep on the path where won't get hurt, guiding the path where the sheep would be able to graze. That is what it is. So in what way we can contribute to the cause of the society? Through our experience that we have undergone, I would definitely say that we can in every way, rather. I might have done this duty in uniform, where I have seen the security concerns of this country. Where we are lacking, we understand that. That feedback should go up. Every day we give a feedback, the feedback should go, feedback should be shared, and based on the feedback, the people up above, when we have reached certain level now, from the field that whatever experience you get, if that can be collated rightly and acted upon rightly in right time, many a mishap that would take place. Because nations integrate, I have shown you the definition. What is basically, if the nation is not secured, if the security is not ensured, the nation wouldn't stand. The nation would disintegrate and break. We have seen many nations getting broken and many new coming up. In the last almost a century, we used to refer to the United Kingdom as a country where the sun never used to set. Why it used to be said like that? Because they had their fiefdom there in the eastern continents, which we refer to as the datum line, if you have to refer. They had a country there in the datum line beginning, and they used to have a country there at the datum line ending. So the country they say survival even with that 4 countries that they have, the active countries, Ireland, Northern Ireland, of course, not the Ireland full. They only have half Ireland, and England, Scotland, and Wales. Even the integrity of these four, their so-called countries are at stake now. Why? Because of certain follies that they might have committed. A country which led to wars, major world wars, a country which could influence the outcome of wars. Why? Because the kind of practical wisdom probably that they accrued over a period of time is not followed up now. So I think we all should follow up in uniform, of course. That is one thing. Those people who are working in the factory, they should contribute, their experience should be shared, then only you would go for more invention. India is one of those countries, the demographic dividend that we must have is not there now actually. We should have had more Nobel Prizes, we should have had more Olympic first, second, third, gold, silver and bronzes. We should have been contributing more to the cause of the humanity and the planet. We should be contributing more to the environment. The experience which you have asked me, if you are to ask me the ecological and environmental balance, it is at stake today. The biggest worry that the planet must have is the climatic change that is taking place. Today you are sitting here, till 2 days back, 3 days back, the temperature here was 38 degrees Celsius or 39 touching. 39 degree, probably Bangaloreans never felt that. I have had 2 plus tenure here, and then I have come to Bangalore about 40 years back. For my interview took place here, my written exam also took place here. The temperature, it was a station without fan. It was a fanless station. Today people can't sleep. Why? The environment is questioned. Where is the experience that you had? Human civilization started 12,000 years back, though we are on this planet for many lakhs of years now. I am referring to the Neolithic period. You understand the Neolithic period? Neolithic is the latest period. Neolithic is the period starting with the 10,000 BC. Neolithic is the period where we started using iron and then copper. The copper came into being. Am I right? Indus Valley we had what? So we have experienced that the temperature that we had in Indus Valley time is not the temperature today that you have. The kind of climatic change that has taken place, the ecological disbalances that has taken place. We generally talk about how much building we have created. We generally talk about how much gun we have. We generally talk about this is not. Besides that, there is something more. If your planet is not fit for survival, it is useless to be living then. You should pass on this information that climatic change is the most dangerous thing. The experience that I get today, 38 degrees Celsius, because you have cut more trees than needed. Rather, there's no requirement. These days they say that you need not to cut trees at all. Rather, you should plant more. One experience that you learned. If I go on developing on this small experience, I should be telling people every day, please plant more trees, don't cut trees, don't cut the leaves, branches. Then, keeping an ecological balance. Ecological balance is what? People say that so many animals, birds, and almost every species has gone extinct. Why extinct? Because we were hunting it. You wouldn't find many whales. Whale is such a very huge animal. It weighs in tons. It has gone extinct. Many terrestrial reptiles, reptilian families have gone extinct. You would find many kind of species. Birds, so many birds have gone extinct. Plants extinct. Human beings, the greed is so much. It is unending actually. The experience that you are experiencing every day. Whether it is this, that or anything, it should at least lead to the improvement of your environment, your ecological system, your families, your communities, and ultimately the nation. Then only the nation can build. A nation must possess, of course, besides the security which we referred, the nation must possess the best of everything, including ecological and environmental balance which I spoke about.
Thank you, sir. Fascinating point of view, and it is amply elaborated. Thank you, sir. My next question is from DIG sir, since DIG sir has expertise in information technology field. Now, what role do you see technology playing in empowering young leader to make meaningful contribution to nation building?
I will start with this a small, I will give you some about information technology and later on, but I'll start with who is the leader? Who is the leader? Leader is situational, who manages the crisis, who has a vision and direction, who is inspiring, who is energetic, and who can foresee the situation which is coming ahead of him. and he can plan for that. He, as a political leader, you must have a good foreign policy, you must create infrastructure, you must have institutions built, you must invest in education, and you must have a crisis plan. These are the few things which a political leader, especially, is required to have. Besides that, there is some difference between a political leader and a military leader. Military leader is who leads by example. Who leads by example. He will give a set example. Before, what he said, Mr. Devraj, he said, you have to set an example before, if you preach, before you teach somebody, you have to set an example for that. So a military leader has to set an example. He must be physically fit. He must be physically fit himself. He must be disciplined himself before asking somebody to be disciplined. These are the few differences. He must be inspiring. He must have some ethical values. A leader must have some ethical values. If he doesn't have values, he'll lose respect in eyes of his juniors. So this kind of things which military leader should have. Having said that, I'll come to the point he has mentioned about what kind of information technology can, show, how it can contribute in leadership. This was the question,
Yes.
how information
Empowering
technology
young
can contribute in the
leaders.
leadership. I think probably if you don't have the knowledge, how can you impart the knowledge, isn't it? So you must be knowledgeable. You must update yourself. What technology is going on in the world, what are the emerging technologies? So if you know the technology, you will impart the technology. Even if you are not expert in that technology, you must have knowledge. For that, you have to constantly update yourself. You have to update yourself, you have to read books, you have to gather knowledge, and knowledge can be gathered from anyone. And when there is democratization of knowledge, knowledge cannot be my property, isn't it? Even if I am very senior, this is not my property. It can be my junior who is having more knowledgeable. He is more knowledgeable than me. So the flow of knowledge is not transferred from the senior to junior. It can also flow from junior to senior. And this democratic mind must be prevailing in the leaders who are in the next generation leaders. So we should be able to gather the knowledge and then collate those knowledge and then synthesize those knowledge and then give a vision and then give the direction in which he wants to lead the country, he wants to lead the organization, he wants to lead his forces, whatever he wants to do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. If any panelists have some add on it, and if it is, yeah. And prior to that, excuse me, sir, prior to that, I would like to request all of you to just take your refreshment. Okay, just take it. Please take it. Yeah, sir. Please, sir. Carry on. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, just one question thereafter. The question will. Okay. Okay. If you feel free to ask any question in between also. So anyone want to ask any question? Just mic do. Yeah, has sir. There are 3 mics are already there, sir.
जय हिंद। जय हिंद। मेरा नाम HC आरोप प्रभाकर कुमार पांडे है। सबसे पहले तो जब सिविल बैकग्राउंड से आकर चाणक्य यूनिवर्सिटी और साथ में NCC कैडेट्स हमारे इस कैंपस का विजिट करते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं यह सोचकर खुशी होती है कि आपको भी हमारी जीवन शैली में दिलचस्पी है। मेरा सवाल कैप्टन चैतन्या मैम से होगा। मैम, आज का जो दौर है, अगर बात आर्म्ड फोर्सेज की करें या पारामिलिट्री फोर्सेज की करें तो कहीं ना कहीं वह जाकर देश की सुरक्षा पर रुकती है। लेकिन आज जैसी व्यवस्थाएं हुई हैं, जैसे अग्निवीर, यह एक ऐसी योजना है जो कहीं ना कहीं जब मैं गांव से रिलेट करता हूं तो मुझे लगता है कि मेरे गांव के जो दोस्त हैं, मेरे और सारे जो युवा पीढ़ी है, वह आर्म्ड फोर्सेज में आने से अब कतराने लगी है। उन्हें अपने भविष्य का भी डर है। और दूसरा बात यह है कि मैं आप सबों से यह पूछना चाहता हूं कि आखिर आप इस विजिट के से हटकर और ऐसी कौन सी क्रियाकलापें हैं, एक्टिविटीज हैं जिनके तहत आप आज की युवा पीढ़ी को आर्म फोर्सेज को ज्वाइन करने के लिए प्रेरित कर सकती हैं, और साथ ही साथ वे ऐसे कौन से कदम हैं जिसके तहत हम इस युवा पीढ़ी को यह बता सकते हैं कि उनकी जिम्मेदारी भी नेशन बिल्डिंग अर्थात राष्ट्र निर्माण में एक महत्वपूर्ण योगदान रखती है। एक बार फिर से मैं कहूंगा कि इस अग्निवीर की जो बात मैंने कही उसके प्रोस्पेक्टिव में मुझे जवाब भी चाहिए। धन्यवाद मैम।
It was a very good question and a very apt question. So, as a part of NCC, we visit villages as a part of community development and outreach activity. So, we've got 7 villages around our university where our NCC cadets visit the village and conduct few activities. Before we visited the villages, none of the children there had any idea about either the NCC or the armed forces. But after the visit of we cadets, along with my cadets, the children of that particular village used to come to meet us. I mean, they used to salute even cadets, saying somebody has come in uniform. That enthusiasm is the one which will be, it will be a game changer in anybody's life. For example, I just wanted to be in forces and just wanted to be a pilot from the time when I just thought of going to school. From second standard onwards, probably, when I saw one of the pilots, then I decided I want to become a pilot. And I couldn't clear my pilot aptitude battery test, and I couldn't become a pilot. But then the enthusiasm in me was always alive to motivate my cadets, my students to join forces. That's when I just went for my PRCN in 2007, and I was a course topper with a gold medal in drill and overall achievement. After I just came back and started training my cadets, and when my first cadet went to armed forces, then I set my mind, this will be my goal in life, to motivate my cadets, my students, to contribute towards nation building. As you rightly asked, our activities like either the outreach activity or community development activity, going to villages, meeting the civilian people there, they're going to feel happy and feel more responsible when they see people in uniform. And these children come and ask us, how do we join NCC? After they join NCC, I mean, obviously their path towards joining forces will be like set. So this interaction, what we're going to have with this NCC cadets, with the villagers, which are the hardly get to go to schools, because when we visit a school nearby to our institution, Chanakya University, we have a school which is called as Harloor Government School, which encompasses about 20 students in a single classroom. They have students from 1st standard to 8th standard. Everybody, all the students sit in a single classroom. So we are trying to make some contribution from NCC, creating some awareness, not only for the students. Whenever the NCC cadets goes, even the parents come along to ask us, I mean, what exactly NCC is, how our children can also wear uniform, other things. So by contributing towards having a bridging a gap between the village people and our university, we are contributing towards nation building. I think I answered your question.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Now, sir, I would like to ask one question, since the question is raised of Agniveer, that is now माहौल थोड़ा गर्म हो गया है, तो थोड़ा सर से मैं एक क्वेश्चन पूछना चाह रहा हूँ, आईजी सर से. Sir, it's true that our nation cannot build and develop unless and until the disparity is removed. In what ways can leadership mitigate challenges such as social inequality, political instability, and economic disparity within a nation? So, in what ways effective leadership mitigate all these disparities? Because these are the future leaders, sir. They can take decision.
Acha, this inequality which we refer to is not one word actually, it encompasses many things. Inequality, economical inequality, social inequality, political inequality, and inequality in everything actually you look at. It is a modern day vice actually. It is a modern day menace. When the human being, we as a society started our journey. So I was just referring in my previous answer, I said, though we are traversing this planet for the last maybe few lakh years as Homo sapien, human being, we have started traversing as a society maybe 10,000-12,000 years back. Do you know this? So when we started, then we started having languages, we started having tools to live, we started having many things that has come up. So this inequality that we are referring, it is a modern day menace. There was no inequality in the past. The old society did not, human being never possessed anything. Do you know this? You never possessed property. You never possessed a nation. You never possessed a family. You never possessed a society. You never possessed anything like this. Your roti, kapada, makan, anything that would happen. When we were living as hunter-gatherers, we used to refer to them as hunter-gatherers. 10,000, 12,000 years back, 12,000 years back, to be almost precise, we lived in caves and we used to be referred to as hunter-gatherers. The complete society would go, or the hunterers would go, they would hunt, bring back whatever booty they get, and it is not that 1 or 2 or 3, 4 have gone and they would share it within their family. No, nothing like that. It would be shared within the complete community. Anything and everything that belong to the community and the society. The modern day menace is that when a person gets 10 lakh rupees, he wants to have 1 crore to make it then 10 crore. He further want to make it to 100 crore, 1 trillion, 2 trillion, there is no end to trillions. There are people with the hundreds of billions of dollars property worth. And the count is still going on. Then the competition comes, somebody is coming very closer. Instead of letting him overtake, why should I make him to overtake me? Sometimes Ambani is up, sometimes Adani is up. Sometimes Gates was up, sometimes somebody else was up. So I'm very happy to speak about these guys. It is a modern day menace because they say that there's an old adage which says that there is enough space on this planet and the universe to satisfy the needs of everything, everybody, not only human, even to the need of an ant. The God has created this universe in that convention. The God has created the universe with that rules, that everything should be satisfied, every species, every creed, every creature must be satisfied. The last of the ants, the last of the microbes must get everything that is needed for it. There is sufficient space to accommodate your needs, but there is no space to accommodate your wants. What is the difference between want and need? You want everything. I want sun. I want moon. I want to own everything. I am not stopping at anything. So this greed has got no limit. Inequality that we mentioned, or the question probably poised for answer, is that the inequality created by us. If it has been created by us, now there is a responsibility resting with the rulers or the leaders to come to height is to mitigate it. How to mitigate it now? We have taxation policy. One of those things which probably Chanakya in the Arthashastra, Kaudilya, in his Arthashastra he referred to as taxation as a very, very dangerous thing. You have to strike a balance. They say that you cannot tax out an economy. Tax out an economy means, there's a reference, meaning thereby that you cannot keep on going up and up and about 30%, 40% tax, 50% tax, 60% tax. There was a taxation policy in India once upon a time which could tax a person up to 80%. Do you know this? You don't live in that era. So tax is one of those things. If you are striking a balance rightly, take out the money which is created more than required, and then somebody, I am not saying that the money that you rightfully and legitimately create should be taken away and distributed to those who don't work at all. It is not like that. You have to strike out a balance that is with the leader. The leader must have a plan To strike a balance in taxation, leader must have a plan to strike out a balance. Looking at those people, why this inequality? We say that he has not studied well. His intelligence is less. No. Every human being is endowed with the best of intelligence. If somebody is good at history, somebody is good at commerce, somebody is good at science, you and me, the basic difference would be hardly anything. 19-20 we call it. The basic difference was made when I was not given the right opportunity, which somebody else got it. Somebody else could study at a place where I could not study. That makes the whole difference. There is a very old story about Thomas Alva Edison. You heard about Thomas Alva? Why I took his name? What is more important in Thomas Alva Edison than other scientists? He has the most patents. The maximum inventions were made by him, starting with the, nowadays, when I raise the hand, it should have automatically gone to the filament lamp. That is not there now. The filament lamp is gone. So Thomas Alva Edison, when he was sent to a school, the story says like this, it goes, maybe or may not be right. At times you tend to distort the story. Over a period of time, an idiot became intelligent and intelligent became idiot also. So it is referred to him as that he was sent to a school by his mother to an elementary school, and the second day he spiked back by the teacher by saying in his diary, what? Your child is not fit for our school. His learning skills are not up to the mark. And the story goes on to say that the mother writes back in his diary, below what the teacher has written, that my son is not an idiot, he is intelligent, his IQ is more than yours, hence you can't teach him. And they say that in the elementary school education, his mother taught him for about 4 years before he was sent to a formal school. 4 years he studied at home. The mother made the difference. The mother made the difference. She decided in her wisdom that I will teach my child. I will make him a scientist, I will make him a winner. The basic difference between we call somebody a loser, somebody a winner, somebody something. These are very pathetic words, pitiable words. So the equity or equitable distribution of wealth is there, where the opportunity, not only the education standard should come up, the education standard should throw open equal opportunity to everybody around. A child should not be deprived of right education because she or he doesn't have the sufficient money. Right to education act has come into being in our country for many decades now. RTE we refer to it. What is RTE? RTE is supposed to take care of all those children who are not able to make it to the school. Why this came? There is a compelling story behind the enactment of RTE, right to education. But how many of you would have seen it is being rightfully invoked, rightfully employed, rightfully implemented? You wouldn't find it. You would go to a school, the school authority would, even to I had to write to a deputy commissioner now because many of my wards, in the sense the subordinates wards, could not get admission in the KV, the very Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, which is meant to educate our children, which is supposed to be teaching our children. They are not able to afford the seats to our children because they say that we have constraints of seats. What kind of an RTE we have? I would like to ask this question. The question has come to me. I am just reflecting the question, not deflecting. I am just reflecting on it. Now, equal opportunity. Equal opportunity in education, equal opportunity in employment. I was member secretary, Staff Selection Commission for 4 years, 11 to 2015, 2011 to 2015. I would also partially touch upon that question. You said people are wary of joining the forces. No. I would like to tell you in 2013, 3.3 million candidates partook in our recruitment process. For how many seats? How many vacancies? 60,000. 33 lakh participated. Just imagine, almost half a crore people participated. Out of that, we were to take 60,000. We could not take 60,000. We took only 50,000. Despite that, despite the heavy participation. So a lot of people participate. Equal opportunity, are we giving actually? No. In one of the boards, interview board, as a member secretary, I was supposed to brief the board. I was supposed to tell them and also partake in the interview. So, Mr. C.M. Bhatt is no more, God bless his soul. He was our IG when I was in Sopur. Sopur, I referred probably to you, I don't know to whom. It used to be termed as the liberated zone of the mini Islamabad liberated zone. Kashmiris used to think that probably at that time the Sopore is seceded, and then some other secession took place and some other township now would follow, and they thought gradually it would be gone. So I was there, he was IG Kashmir, and later on we met here. He retired by that time as a DG, and he was the presiding officer of the board, and we had few professors and people joining part of the board, and I was to brief them. I briefed them in the interview. Students from Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, southern Maharashtra, Odisha, this region, the southern region of, this is a regional headquarter here in Bangalore. So all these people, they come in sub-inspector entry interview. So we were to ask questions, and we were asking questions, and I found some students, they wanted to answer because language should not be a barrier. My mother tongue is Malayalam, somebody else's mother tongue is Kannada, somebody else's mother tongue is Tamil. And these are all, this form part of Indo-European language, I said. Bengali language, after Hindustani, of course, is the largest, it's a local language, provincial language, isn't it? That should not be a bar. If somebody can't speak other than Bengali, somebody can't speak other than Tamil, can't speak other than Malayalam or some other language, local dialect, it doesn't mean that he is unwise, he is unintelligent. It doesn't make him unfit for a particular job. It should be the content and substance of that. Inequality I am referring to. So in that, many could not answer questions, many were not able. Then I had to, those days actually only 3 languages could be used, 2 languages. Hindi, English, 2 languages. It was bilingual at that time. Now, of course, the government has changed very recently, a year back. They changed that. All these languages are now put into the complete system. It forms part of the system where you can ask questions, participate. You can participate in Government of India's competitive test in any of these languages. It was not then unequal opportunity. Person who is highly intelligent, there was a labor participating. He did his BA history in Kannada, and he was a labor actually. He through online correspondence course he completed it. He could not answer. Then I requested the board, you kindly ask in your language. Why can't you ask if his content is all right? If he has substance, why can't we take him? He will learn language. Language is a very minor thing. I never could speak Hindi when I joined this force. Now I can speak many of the Hindi belt people. I think he would vouch for it, isn't it? So I speak far better than many people. My Hindi is very good. My troops would say, I address them in Chinese. My Hindi is all right? Yes, so that's what it is. So you learn language, you pick up language. There are people now, they would be learning at least 5-10 language by the end of their career, minimum, I'm referring to. So there are unequal opportunities being thrown upon to people. Inequalities must go. One of the steps government has taken is that they have put more languages. It is one step because thousands of miles are not traveled in one go. Every step taken, you started with the first step. Every step taken to removing inequality is a step rightly taken, right direction. So there are many things. The taxation policy should be perfectly all right. A leadership vision should be there. It should not hurt those who are really making. Somebody has recently made during election, you come across very scandalous and stupid stories actually. If I am to put it, I don't know whether I am going beyond certain limit or not. People, they say that somebody said this, that if I come to power, we come to power, we'll do like this. We'll redistribute. But nothing like that. I don't think anybody is a fool to speak like that. Maybe they must have said also. I don't know. I'm not commenting on it. Not like this. What I'm saying is that rightfully, the person, like if the government is taking 33%, 30 plus whatever cess they are taking, tax from me, I should be happy to give it. I should believe that I am contributing it to the cause of the nation building. And that money should rightfully go to the person who deserves it. If we have a CAPF Ayushman Bharat, not CAPF Ayushman, Ayushman Bharat, that should take care of all those needy people whose treatment should be taken care of through this Ayushman. If there is a system where subsidy and discounting is given in some ration distribution, what do you call that thing? Public distributory system, PDS. That should rightly go to the people. These days it is very easy because you have a digital system. One of the questions was that how this is influencing the nation building, the technology. Technology, how because it becomes more and more transparent. My hand could not be that much transparent as the hands of the digital system, electronic system. The electronic trail will catch you anytime. This will warn you, don't do this. You can be caught anytime. There was a thief doing his theft, robbery attempt in one of the places in Kerala. He was looking at the camera, then he thought that I can stick a bubble gum there and escape the vision of it. By the time he put his bubble gum there, his photo complete, everything was taken and stored. So the technology can do so many things. So inequality can only go when we have to draw out a leaflet out of our old customs, because the complete resources, it belongs to the complete society, complete community, complete nation. It does not have the exclusive right of one individual on it. If there is water, it is meant for everybody. If there is a natural resource, I'm not taking anything. It should be meant for everybody. Everybody must have a right. The older yesteryear's time, the yesteryears, people used to have, this is my well, you can't take, you know this water, you cannot stop somebody from taking water or drinking water from a well. It is not your resource. So is the case with many other things. People do not know it. So what I am telling, the inequalities that we created, inequalities that the modern communities, modern nations have created, can go only when we take a leaf out of the old customs, the ancient times, the Indus valleys, and all those things where people lived very happily. They had little, but they were mighty contented. The happiness index of Bhutan is many times more than us. The happiness index of very small nations around the world, it is far better than ours and many other Asian nations. That is trumped up. I don't know how Pakistan's happiness index could be better than, I don't know. Maybe right, I don't know. But I don't believe it. It is my right not to believe certain things. Pakistan, a nation which doesn't have democracy. Pakistan, a nation which trumps of everything. Pakistan, a nation which does not have the economy. You know the value of rupee when I started my journey as a gentleman cadet in BSF in 1986. The rupiah of Pakistan almost equated with our rupee. Now, you know value of Pakistan. Pakistan cannot buy, they can't buy anything otherwise. 1 rupee can buy, I think, maybe 40, 50 Pakistani rupiah. And nobody wants that actually, this rupiah. Pakistani rupiah, who wants it? And we can trade, you know, our rupiah can trade in international market. That is another one of those things, great things happened. So the thing is that contentment, it has a direct connection to your economy also. Contentment, it has a direct connection to your social fabric also. Imran Khan, who was ruling 2 years back, he is in jail now. His wife, a country which convicts. I have seen that, Pakistan. I have seen that, but I don't believe it. I have a right not to believe. I said like this. You may have a statistics, but why should I believe it? I don't know how somebody can have. His wife, Bushra Bibi, you know? Bushra Bibi is behind bars because she married Imran Khan. And they say that when in Islam, you can marry 100 times. But you cannot, I'm telling you, this is a custom, as per Quran I'm telling. You cannot keep more than 4 wives at one time. So what they do, if I need to, many of them, those who play with the religious tenets, if I want to have the 5th one, I'll say, it could happen earlier, no, not, of course. Talak, and the 4th could. I am not demeaning anything. Don't take it that way, please. It is going live also. But I am telling it happens. And her crime was such a kind of system you have. If that is the law, bolta hai, he married without giving divorce to his previous wife. Bushra Bibi is in jail. Illegal marriage. Imran Khan, one of the charges on which he was, of course, his marriage is another charge in which he was convicted. He was convicted for this also, that he got some trophies when he visited some of the countries. He kept memento and sold it, got some money and he kept it and used for his own use. That is a charge. Trumped up, I would say that way. Because many carry mementos, many a times. Many mementos, the government, if it interprets that the memento which is given to you is not yours, somebody else's, if I go to a place, if I get a memento, though, many a times we give it to the organization, but it is my discretion. And the discretion must trust, if I am given a memento, it is my memento. A nation's head gets a memento, many people keep it, I think. But at least some kind of consideration could have been there if their law permits him to be convicted. I am just referring. Offhand I went. I am just saying a country like that has a bigger contentment rate. Happy because they could convict Imran Khan. Happy because Mrs. Bhutto could be assassinated. Happy because Sardari Bhutto become the president of Pakistan, or Nawaz Sharif's brother, kya hai wo? Shahbaz. he becomes a prime minister, they are happy. So these are not yardstick for being happy, I think, a nation. Happiness, if it is to be measured, it should be measured in the right earnest. Happiness should be measured in the right content. Happiness should be measured in this. So I am just saying that the inequality, if it is to go, it should go the way the visionary leaders should adapt to the modern system and take a leaf out of the old tenets and old civilizational, the education, practical wisdom that we had, what we practiced, how people were contented, and then try to practice even these days also. We have seen all those mythical edits in which people were so contented and happy. Not that they had the TVs, not that they had the, all those modern gadgets that you hold in your home. No. People were mighty happy with all the very primary things, basic things. Still they were happy. So you could be happy with that.
They're happy because they don't have any economic.
They did not have to compete. They were happy, they did not. Inequality were not there. Actually, the inequality was not there. Socialistic fabric was intact. So I think I have.
Since we are running out of time, so before the platform forum is open to the question and answer, I want to say sorry to Dr. Bharat sir, because you are just going to answer one question, and in between I am just asking this question. You please complete your answer, sir.
So I just want to highlight two things regarding technology as well as the climate change aspect what sir has raised here. So with respect to the technology we can call it as a savior for us in the 21st century. And the technology is there for us to master the technology. Now what is going in the society is we are becoming the slaves of the technology. Take the mobile phones. Most of the youth of our country is now became the slaves of the technology of the mobiles. So the technology which is meant for the goodness or the meant for the bringing the equality in the society, we are misusing it. So that's where even in my class I ensure that mobile phone is not entered in my class. So that's where so many people sometimes feel pain also to keep the mobile phone away for 1 hour or 1.5 hour of lecture of mine. So that is one aspect I wanted to bring here. Regarding the climate change, so with the help of Indian Institute of Science researchers, we have developed one urban information system which is known as Bangalore Urban Information System. So which is available online, everyone can check. So with the help of GIS and remote sensing technology, we understood how the Bangalore has changed. So once the Bangalore was 68% green cover with only 3% urban and also 8% water cover. So now over a period of time, because of the IT, BT and other infrastructure development, now the Bangalore is having only 5% tree cover and followed by 89% urban cover. So which indirectly says we are just pumping urban with the infrastructure growth and other aspects. We are just making Bangalore to more non-livable city. And the day is not far. We have to make our the dear BSF people to guard the Kaveri river. So it is going to become real in another 10 years. So we have to make our BSF people to stand there to supply the 1 liter of water from the Kaveri river. So so in that scenario, the youth requires to take right steps. So my request to all the people, I also practiced it before telling to everyone. So at least you plant 5 trees in your lifetime. So those 5 trees should be the ficus varieties. You know what is ficus varieties? Those are in Kannada we call it as Ashwatha, Alada Mara, and as well as other varieties of ficus. So if you plant 5 trees of ficus variety, you are not only becoming self-sufficient and also you are ensuring the food availability for the nature. So the nature is balanced if it is maintained. So there is a requirement of the human intervention in the nature to make it balance. So everyone says that nature can self-sustain. No, nature cannot self-sustain without our intervention. There is a requirement of human being in the nature because we are part of the nature. Okay, so in that scenario, you can use the technology for the betterment of the society. So and also regarding the leadership quality, I just wanted to highlight one more point. The leader is the person who knows the history and who can predict what could happen in the future. So you have to choose a leader who can guide you in a right direction. Sometime we will be get misleaded by the wrong leadership. So that's where before choosing you someone as a role model or someone as the leader for yourself, make sure that understand the person or and ensure that you are in a safe hand. Okay, so these are the three points I wanted to highlight before the question and answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now,
yeah.
forum is open for.
Vishal, now I'd request the cadets and the students who have come from Chanakya University to shoot questions.
Jai Hind, sir. I am Cadet Suraj Kumar Singh from Chanakya University. First of all, thank you so much for the opportunity. And we, the folks of Chanakya, are very grateful and very thankful to get addressed by you, great idols. And my question is here that as this era, we know that is of 21st century, is also called as the era of AI and technologies. How blockchain technology can be used to enhance the border force security of India, and what enhancement can be done on this technology. As I'm an enthusiast of technology, please show some light on this.
Yeah, I'll answer. The blockchain technology is a very useful technology, and in fact, BSF is thinking of implementing this blockchain technology in our case in every transaction, because you know that transactions are very safe and the distributed ledger type thing is there. So you have transaction at all places, and you cannot cannot manipulate that whatever transaction is going on. So this kind of technology is very useful, so that integrity of data is there. So we are contemplating to implement this blockchain technology in our daily day-to-day transactions, whether it is a financial transaction, it is operational transactions, or anything else. Thank you. In the border security, see, in case of data which is coming from our border, it is transported to our data center, then it is stored there, then it is synthesized there, then it is used for decision making. So at all levels, whether it is from transportation to storage to synthesis of the data and then use of the data, it's all stage by stage. Whatever stages are there we can implement that this blockchain technology, so that the integrity of data is there. No one can manipulate the data. Hope I answer your question.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Jai Hind. Myself, Cadet Sumit Kumar. My question is for IG Apen sir. Sir, what is the difference between the role of Indian Army and paramilitary forces in our country?
Yeah, sit down. You can sit down. When you refer to, basically, even nowadays we are referred to as CAPF, Central Armed Police Force, whether it is referred to as CAPF or paramilitary, whatever way you look at. This is basically formed under Schedule 7, because Government of India or central government can only create armed forces. So we are one of the armed forces. When you open the book, the BSF Act, it would speak of that. It's created under so-and-so schedule, and this is an armed force of the Union. No, the difference you asked, basically why you needed a paramilitary or border guarding force. We refer to ourselves as the BGB, okay? Border guarding force, and BSF is the biggest, largest border guarding force on this planet. We guard approximately 2,000 kilometers of IB in the west, plus approximately 1,020 kilometers of LC in the west with Pakistan, and 4,090 odd kilometers of border with IB, international border with Bangladesh in the east. So it comes to about 7,000 long kilometer borders. So basically the international borders, as per the Geneva Convention, the regular army cannot guard. It is not supposed to. Though the army can come, they come. Even when they come for temporary purpose, they are supposed to come in the irregular uniform, not in the OG. Basically sometimes they ask for the uniforms and they come, they just want to carry out some recce, some kind of practice, and then they go back. The basic difference is that, like, we are like an infantry battalion. The firepower of a BSF battalion, if it is going in the open, you know? So it's almost, rather, the firepower is more. The BSF battalion's firepower is more. I'll only put it that much. We have more companies than the Indian Army's infantry battalion. The firepower is more. We are expected to fight limited war, immediate defense we have to provide. And right on the border, we have to defend our border till last man, last bullet. We are not supposed to leave the post. The post that we hold, we are not supposed to leave it at all at any cost. You cannot just, Jivan Paryant Kartavya. That is what it is. You cannot come back. That is a motto. Otherwise also you are not supposed to fall, even when there is a heavy attack developing, though it doesn't come like that. An attack doesn't develop. We call it a war fever. Supposing there is going to be a conflict. A conflict doesn't come overnight. It is not that I am sitting on the border, my battalion is there, I have my post, and the Pakistan can mount an attack on me tomorrow. No. They need elements to come in. They need their support elements to come in. They need many other support elements other than the immediate support element to come in. I will not go into that. So without that, so immediate brunt we have to bear, the regular border guarding forces. This comes under MHA, then Ministry of Home Affairs, the Home Affair, internal affair. Whereas the regular armed forces, which you have referred, not only Army, there are three, plus Coast Guard, of course. Coast Guard, which gives coastal protection. So Army, Navy and Air Force, which generally we term it as regular armed forces, they come under the Ministry of Defense. The basic difference is ministry. Number two is a role. We have a role to play, a separate role to play. And in addition to that, we are also supposed to play the role of a regular armed force in case the need arises. For example, 1971, which I have given a very elaborate talk on it. In that talk, I must have told you that what we have done, we have moved our academy to the Eastern Front. Starting with the director and the staff and the newly budded in trainees, or fourth batch we refer to, they were sent inside. They were trained, and these people were training Mukti Bahini. They were training everybody around, whatever they could hold, lay hand on. They were preparing them for a ground assault. So the basic difference is that they are not there when the peace is there, we are there when the peace is there. When the peace and no war, no peace we call it. There are three actually. There is peace, there is war. There can be a peace, there can be a war situation. And in between, generally we refer to that situation as no war, no peace. So in no war, no peace and peace situations, it is supposed to be the people like us who guard. Whatever you see right on the border, many refer to, whenever I go for a talk in the town to the universities and other people, I try to elaborate about BSF, what we do generally. People do not understand. They do not have an estimation of what actually BSF does. They do not understand it is the BSF, the uniform we wear, because it is more akin to the army uniform. We also wear the uniform that you wear, khaki. We wear it intermittently actually. Okay. So most of the time, the people that you would find on the border, they wear this uniform. So people generally are referring to them as the army. It is the BSF, Border Security Force, guarding Indo-Pak border. International border is always guarded by people not from army, people from the border guarding force. Whether it is this border, that border, any border, international border. On the LC, that is line of control or line of actual control, I am referring to the Pakistan and the Chinese border respectively. There we have an intermix of both, army and the paramilitary. Here on the Pak side we have BSF and army. On the Chinese side we have the army and ITBP. That is a different. They are also there. They have their battalions there. They participate in operations. They go for aggressive patrolling. They go for aggressive operations. They are there at very difficult areas. LOC, if you have seen some of the high altitude FDLs we call it. The difference is on the IB we call them as the post which we occupy, we call them as border outpost, BOPs. There it is called forward defended localities. Forward defended locality is a locality, mostly locality you refer to company defended locality. So it can be a defended battalion also, but these are FDLs we call it in the LC, where you have temporary structures and all those things, and you defend your territory. So we do it intermix actually with the army. I think you have got a little bit of it. You would only understand actually when you go to ground, you can understand actually how the thing works. How actually think. We had an independent brigade there in Northern Gully sector, we used to call it, during our time, Bandipur. Now, that sector has gone to army. Army is commanding that sector also. The mostly LC is under the command of, even when our battalion is there, LC it is under the command of army, whereas the IB, we hold it independently. That's it.
Next. Just hand over.
जय हिंद मैं कैडेट Amalendu Chakma from Arunachal Pradesh. Currently, I am pursuing my BA in Journalism and Digital Media at Chanakya University. So, sir, जैसे कि हम सबको पता है, we all aware about India Pakistan जो religious के base पे partition हुआ था. तो उस समय मतलब जो हिंदू जितने भी सिख या बुद्धिस्ट थे वो मतलब इंडिया में आना चाहते थे. तो उस समय मतलब 1947 के जो इंडिपेंडेंट डे के रात में मतलब इंडिया का इंडिपेंडेंट हुआ था. उस समय मतलब जो चकमा कम्युनिटी थे चित्तगांग हिल ट्रक में थे, उन लोगों ने सोचा कि वो इंडिया में पड़ गया क्योंकि वो बुद्धिस्ट थे. तो उनके वजह से वो फ्लैग भी मतलब इंडिया का जो फ्लैग था वो होस्टिंग किया गया था उस समय. तो आपने उसके बारे में भी चर्चा किया था, ऑलरेडी स्पोक अबाउट दैट. तो उस समय मतलब उनको लगा कि वो इंडिया में है, तो इसलिए उन्होंने मतलब अपना झंडा लहराया था उस समय. तो बाद में जाके पाकिस्तानियों आर्मियों ने उसे कुचल दिया गया था, मतलब वो देशद्रोही ऐसे कुछ बोला गया था. उसके बाद जो कप्ताई डैम बना गया मतलब उसमें चित्तगांग हिल ट्रैक में, तो जितने भी मतलब चकमा कम्युनिटी के थे उस समय राज का बारी था, वो सब पानी में डूब गया, प्लट हो गया. उस समय बहुत सारे चकमा कम्युनिटी के लोगों का अत्याचार हुआ था, जैसे कि खुलेआम मारा जा रहा था पाकिस्तानियों के आर्मी द्वारा और रैप किया जा रहा था. तो उसके बाद जो चकमा कम्युनिटी थे वो मतलब इंडिया में मतलब माइग्रेट हुआ था उस समय. तो उस समय मतलब मिजोरम, त्रिपुरा, आसाम, शिलोंग में और अरुणाचल, उस समय अरुणाचल नहीं था, नेपाल था, आसाम के अंदर आता था. फॉरेंटियर एक्ट उस समय आता था. तो वो मतलब इंडिया ने उससे सेटल किया गया कि नेपाल में उस समय. तो मतलब ताकि वो 1962 में जो इंडो चाइना वॉर हुआ था, ताकि वो अगर चाइना फिर से अटैक करता है हमें इंडिया में तो वो सिक्योरिटी फोर्स या उस समय जगह खाली था, तो उसको बचाने के लिए भी उनको सेटल किया गया था. तो अभी भी मतलब हम इट्स बीन ऑलमोस्ट 60 ईयर, तो उनको मतलब पूरा राइट नहीं दिया जा रहा है. जैसे कि वो जॉब में जा नहीं सकता है. बहुत सारे ऐसे यूथ है, स्टूडेंट हैं जो पैरामिलिट्री फोर्स में ज्वाइन करना चाहता है, फिर भी वो उसको मतलब डिनाई कर रहा है बिकॉज ऑफ सम पॉलिटिकल इशू इज़ देयर. सो इस विषय पे आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे सर? मतलब उसको जो पैरामिलिट्री फोर्स में कोई ऐसा भी स्टूडेंट है जो ज्वाइन होके भी मतलब उसको मतलब रिजेक्ट कर दिया गया जो फॉर्म है, तो वो सब कुछ ट्रेनिंग किया गया, फिर पर्टिकुलर वो वेरिफिकेशन होता है डॉक्यूमेंट का, तो वो रिजेक्ट कर दिया जा रहा है. तो उस मतलब वो उसका जो माइंड है बहुत ही मतलब डिमोटिवेट हो गया है, और वो मतलब बहुत सारे ऐसा यूथ है कि ज्वाइन होना चाहता है. तो इस विषय पे क्या कहना चाहेंगे सर आप? थैंक यू सो मच.
See, I will not touch upon and speak about certain policies of government of India due to the constraint. I think you appreciate it. It is not that they were located in NEFA only, the then NEFA, Northeastern Frontier Province. Like Pakistan had Northwestern Frontier Province, we had Northeastern Frontier Province, which became a state as Sikkim later on. Now these Chakmas, mostly they were from Chittagong Hill Tracts. It used to be referred to as Chakma land actually, Chittagong Hill Tracts. And this is a misconception that they were only, in fact, the Pakistan Army's atrocity was targeted against the complete Bangladesh, East Pakistan, except those relocated Bihari Muslims, Mohajirs. You understand what I am saying? Those people who went from India at the time of partition, migrated from here to West Pakistan first, and then from there, the Pakistan had an ulterior motive in relocating them at that time. They planned that they would be needed when a time comes, they could be used, and they relocated many of them in hundreds of numbers, lakhs of them rather. They came to East Pakistan in Dhaka, they were in Chittagong Hill Tracts also. These people were there, and the Operation Searchlight actually commenced post some kind of an assault on the Bihari Muslims, the Mohajirs, by the Bengalis, okay? And it was targeted against all the Bengalis of Bangladesh, East Pakistan, and of course in Hill Tract, because you are probably forefathers, they belong to Chittagong Hill Tract, I think. You must have migrated from there. Not only you, about more than 10 million people we had. Mrs. Gandhi were looking at about 1 crore people because it was a big number. You cannot now close the door. It is inhuman. People are coming fearing the life. So Mrs. Gandhi and the government of India, her cabinet, they were gracious enough to open the door at that time to accommodate them. I can tell you one thing, I heard about 5 refugee camps of Chakmas. In Tripura, we were located at Bagafa. I don't know, you must have heard about it or not. Tripura had the maximum number of refugee camps. So we had it in Bhagavandilla, there is a place, we had 2 camps there. So they came in thousands, in tens of thousands, and then of course they multiplied also later on. By the time I was there, I am referring to a period 89, 90, 91, 92. I was in Bagafa and then we had these camps under us. BSF battalions were holding the camps. Rather, it's management and all. We were supposed to see what is happening, some murder taking place, something happening, some law and order situation. So these things were happening. So later on, many of them went back, of course, through a kind of understanding, and many of them dissipated, in the sense that they disappeared into the larger main Changaland and they got almost everything. I don't know how many of them left now. You have your complete rights. I think you must be having, it is a misconception, I think. And almost everybody, barring, I don't know, you may have some count. Otherwise, everybody got the status. They are, almost everybody are the citizens of this country now. Because barring those people who have gone back. Chittagong Hill Tract still hold large number of, because those were the actual legitimate place of the Buddhist Chakmas. Mostly they were Buddhists, they were Hindus also, Chakmas. But mostly they were, some of the Chakmas got converted. They become, when the conversion started taking place in Bangladesh, East Pakistan or anywhere for that matter, you would find Chaudhary converted to Chaudhary, some Salma Chaudhary, all those people you would find. It happens in certain countries, but not in our country. But I can tell you one thing, this country and its constitution and the kind of mindset that we have, the political mindset, the social mindset, all kind of things that this country possesses and holds, this is very sacred, and the values and ethos that we uphold are this very ancient one. It is not a new one. This country is a very old country. We hold it true, and we have fought this war on these values actually. Hindustan subcontinent, the subcontinent, when we refer to the Indian subcontinent, it refers to the mainland India now, of course, Afghanistan, then we refer to Pakistan, present day Pakistan, Balochistan included, part of the Baloch that is falling in Iran, and then Indian subcontinent, Nepal, and right up to the part of Burma. This is basically the larger Indian subcontinent, okay. When we refer to it, it had a culture, it had a civilization, the Indus civilization that we had. And the umbilical cord of Indus is still connecting the people around. So we hold the values, the country can go to war to uphold the values of our country. And we have gone on war. Mrs. Gandhi went on war to uphold. I said, the definition, if you see, if you want to read out, it says that the country should be able to hold its value. And when it is threatened, it should be able to maintain it through a war. That is the security definition for a country. So having said that, I said, I don't think there is many. If there are something, there is a paperwork that is to be undertaken. Government should be approached. The state government should take the lead. Otherwise, we don't have any Chakma. Huh? No, 60s, the people who have come in, no? They all have been integrated now. The Chakmas particularly, many of them have gone back after the pact, similar agreement, they have taken back. Many of them remained there. Those people remained, they have been given certain status now. This is what it is. The government's policy, I will not speak. Government has a policy, they decide on it. Because it is a government which we choose, we have chosen. And then the government takes policy on behalf of the citizens. Government won't take a policy without the will and power of the demography of the country. That is what it is. You have anything, any problem you face? If we can narrate something.
एक्चुअली सर मिज़ोरम त्रिपुरा आसाम शिलोंग में वो मतलब सिटीजनशिप पुल दिया जा रहा है, उनको राइट दिया जा रहा है, इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटी दिया जा रहा है, पर अरुणाचल में अभी भी मतलब पेंडिंग इशू कुछ है हमारे जो कम्युनिटी के लिए, जो उसके वोटिंग राइट दिया जा रहा है वहाँ पे, लेकिन कुछ जॉब का अपॉर्चुनिटी हो या इक्वल एजुकेशन में डिनाई किया जा रहा है, डिफ्राइव है अभी भी। उस विषय पे क्या कहना चाहेंगे सर? इवन मतलब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया ने 2-3 बार मतलब जजमेंट भी दे दिया इन फेवर ऑफ चकमा कम्युनिटी, दे आर सिटीजन ऑफ इंडिया बट दे आर नॉट गेटिंग द इक्वल राइट एज ए सिटीजन ऑफ इंडिया।
This particular case, है ना, if I think when you discuss about a particular issue, I'll tell you, unless you understand the nitty-gritties in a wholesome way meaning they are a threadbare, because nobody would be able to comment on it. There may be something here and there. Even in a court, when they discuss on murder issues, people are let off because this thing is not connecting. People are convicted because these things are connected. There are issues which are probably missing, or there are issues which are not discussed. There are issues, the complete nitty-gritties are not in the forefront. So on that, isolated issues would be there. And if it is denied, if it is not there, then there would be some reason also. That reason has to be looked into. Without that, I don't think I should be answering it.
Hello. Namaste, sir. My name is Mahalakshmi Singh, and I am a student of Chanakya University. And my question is from DIG Hemant, sir. So, since I am a student who is studying about cybersecurity and BCA, my question is related to technology. So, like, we have new and changing technologies every decade, every year. Right now, AIs and blockchains are in fashion, but tomorrow there might be a new technology which will just take over. So my question is, how can we adopt to these new technologies? And one more question that I have is that, is our country and our nation, is it ready to adopt such new technologies and frameworks? Thank you, sir.
I can vouch for that. India is in that condition to adopt any technology in field of IT, in fact. I cannot tell of other field, but IT is a field where India can vouch for that. It can adopt technology. And this technology is constantly evolving. Say the technology in yesteryears, it was changing after 5 years. Now it is changing after every now and then it is changing, isn't it? So you told about AI thing and this blockchain technology. Maybe tomorrow you have quantum computing. When quantum computing comes, I think blockchain is nowhere. This needs to be changed, and we are constantly evolving. Lots of research are going on this, I think, across India in our this scientific institutions. I think in our case also, BSF also, in other Army, Navy and all these things. We are constantly changing, and we must be probably, he's from, I think, Mr. Bharat. Bharat is from Geospatial and Computer Science, I think, probably. So we are also into that geospatial and all these things. Change is constant, we're constantly updating. So I mean, a few years back, we used to take imagery from our sister agencies, say for a week or something like that. But now we are taking the real-time imagery so that we can understand what development is taking place across the border. So you know that these days 95% of intelligence which is gathered is through this open sources and this geospatial, all these kind of things. Anything I can address? Thank you. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Okay.
Namaste, sir. Myself Sahana Tondikatti, student of Chanakya University. Sir, can I ask in Kannada? ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಬಂದು
Please switch on your mic. I think it is switch off. Okay, yeah.
ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಬಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಂಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಎರಡು ಹೆಸರುಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ, ಭಾರತ ಮತ್ತು ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಭಾರತ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮೊದಲಿನೂ ಬಂದಿದೆ ನಮಗೆ, ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರು ಬಂದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು. ಸೊ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಪ್ರತಿ ಸರ್ತಿ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅಂತಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಆದರೆ ಯಾಕೆ ನಾವು ಭಾರತ ಅಂತ ತುಂಬ ಯಾಕೆ ನಾವು ಬಳಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೈ ಕ್ವಶನ್.
Got it. We are using it actually. It is interchangeable, Bharat. Even when we finish something, we say Jai Bharat, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. We say like that, and it is Bharat is there.
Yes, sir. I know Bharat is there, but when we will learn portions, In all that, we will use only India. So now only we saw
I'll-
almost you people use
I'll
only
just
India.
answer.
So why not Bharat?
I'll tell you, I'll take a simile from the history and to make you understand. In 1945, when the Second World War ended, you understand? Yeah, it's all right, no? Second World War ended. The primary countries which fought the war, it was like USA, UK, France, USSR, of course, and the fifth country was termed as China. And what was China? What was China of 1945? The China used to be called as Republic of China, ROC. What is it? Republic of China. And who ruled which party? The China of 1945, the China which fought the war was Republic of China, Kuomintang China. Chiang Kai-shek was the premier of China. The party was Kuomintang, not the communist. And they got everything. They got permanent veto power, permanent membership with the UN, and they were the first to sign the UN Charter. The first country to sign the UN Charter was Kuomintang's China. What happened after 4 years? 1949, the communists escalated the rebellion and then they overwhelmed China. So after 1949, the China, the present day China, present day mainland China, is called People's Republic of China, PRC. You must register what I am telling, PRC. The other one is ROC. So what happened to Kuomintang and Chiang Kai-shek? They fled to Taiwan. Taiwan used to be referred to as what? China. People's Republic of China, the present day China, which attacked us, which is having all the ICBMs, IRBMs and all those missiles, which is threatening us every day, which fought with us in Galwan, which fought with us in 1962, which was ruled by Mao Zedong until 1986, that was not even a member. That was not even a member for. It took 30 years, 21 years for People's Republic of China to be recognized, People's Republic of China to be known as China. Otherwise, Taiwan was being referred to China. Taiwan had the veto power held veto power for 25 years. So it will take some time. In case, what is in a name? All the Wordsworth की poetry है. It says that what is in a name? नाम में क्या चीज़ है? नाम में क्या है? There is nothing in a name. But of course, you have a point in it. Bharat, if it is, we call it actually. We refer to India as Bharat. We don't even call India actually. We say what? Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. We don't even. India, it is referred, world know India as India now. And if you have to ask me the history and the prehistoric period of India, we never remained as, I may be wrong, many people have reservations against what I am about to say. We never remained as India. Which India you are referring to? About a few hundred years back, I am telling you, few hundred years back, we only had, at the time of 1947 independence, there is no India. We had 563 princely states, Kerala, Travancore, Kerala, Cochin, Kerala, Tirukochi we used to call it. We had Calicut, we had a Mysore presidency, Mysore state here till 1956. You formed this state on 1st of November 9, which Karnataka you are referring to? You did not have a Karnataka until 1956. 1st of November 1956 was the first day on which Karnataka was born. So we had 563 princely state. Each king wanted to rule. Travancore made a constitution. Hari Singh made a constitution. Till recently it was there. 370 we imposed because Hari Singh had a constitution, he had a flag. To the biggest state in India. So every king, all these people who claim we fought the war, we were India, we fought like what? So ferocious wars we fought. All these people wanted to remain as independent nations. Whether it is Jaipur kingdom, Jodhpur kingdom, Bikaner kingdom, any Rajputana kingdoms, or any kingdom that you refer to in Punjab, Baroda wanted to remain independent. Gwalior, Sindhyas wanted to be independent. So there was no India at the time of independence even. There is no India. There was Gwalior we had Hyderabad, Nizam we had Junagadh we had all these places. It was put together by the integration plan of Sardar Patel and of course the government of India then, post-partition. So India was formed later on. It had in stories and other historical verbatims, we had Bharat of course. So it is good that if we can adopt to that name, it is perfectly all right. But as a nation we existed in the modern times only. We have to understand it. There never used to be. All these countries, you don't know. The Chola kingdom, India, we had this kingdom right up to where? We influenced Indonesia. Do you know this? All these things that we find there, the Jadayu statue there, the Ramsida statue there, and all these things, Cholas took it there. And Pandyas had influences in the south. And of course, Krishnadevaraya, Hampi kingdom. So all these kingdoms were there, but not as Bharat, we did not exist actually. If you have to understand it, the right understand perspective. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Don't be very sticky about everything.
What a balanced and excellent answer of such a controversial question. Thank you, sir.
It all depends on people's will. If you want to call it Bharat, it's Bharat. If you want to call it.
Jai Hind. My name is Aditi Balaji. I am pursuing BCA Honours in Data Science. My question is, in what all aspects does BSF use AI, and how is the data protected?
So how do BSF use this AI? So AI is basically used for decision making. We have different kinds of softwares based on AI. We also have, analyze the social media. We can analyze the intelligence which are gathering from different sources, and operational data where we can take say predictive intelligence is there. Then there is a prescriptive intelligence which we can, operation, when we go for the operations, we have that kind of data with us, and then I think the topmost, the leader is taking the decisions based on this data. Do you understand that? So we are collating the data from different sources, then we are analyzing those data through this AI, and then we are taking decision based on that. Yeah. Now it's a human int also, tech int is also there. Tech int is basically controlled by this AI and all these things. So we are correlating the human int with AI.
Thanks, sir. In between, I just want to announce that the Honorable Chancellor of Chanakya University, that is founder chancellor also, Dr. M.K. Sridhar sir, has been awarded with prestigious Padma Shri. Proud of you, sir. Proud of your cause, sir.
With your permission, can I add few things, sir? Since the entire panel discussion was about the leadership, I just wanted to have this thing, wanted to share with all of you. Yesterday, we just, the team of Chanakya, family of Chanakya, celebrated the historic moment when our founder chancellor of Chanakya University, Dr. M.K. Sridhar sir, has been honored with the Padma Shri Award. As most of us know, MKS sir is a wheelchair bound, and his one hand is accessible. Otherwise, apart from that, the amount of leadership what he exhibits, when we call about leadership, that's why I just use the word empathy. The amount of empathy what he has towards each and everybody, from the below to the upper level, the amount of spirit, vision what he has is really great. So we are actually very much overwhelmed to have this momentous occasion celebrated yesterday when our Dr. M.K. Sridhar sir has been awarded with the prestigious Padma Shri Award. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Since we are running out of time, and you have ample of questions, there are so many questions, and we have an exhibition, and Mausam kharab ho raha hai. Mausam is just disturbing right now. So one last question you can ask with Haji sir. Only last question we can take. Yeah, last question only. Yeah.
First of all, I would like to thank the SEDCO and BSF for inviting the Chanakya family and our cadets here. Thank you very much, sir. And also, I would like to extend my gratitude towards the great heroes of our nation, And I know it has been said enough, but it will still be never that because of you and your great heroics, sir, we can sleep peacefully at our homes. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, my question to the panel would be, as we were discussing, like the whole panel discussion was about the importance of leadership in nation building. So I would like to ask this question that everyone asks us what it needs to be a leader, but nobody asks a question what it means to be a leader. What does it mean? So as even you mentioned, sir, if our great nation would have not sheltered all the refugees from the 1971 war, it would have been inhumane. But if you would have continued to shelter them, it would have made a huge cost for our great nation. So what is the striking difference that makes in such hard decisions? And also I would like to add that how important are the failures for a leader, like how it can make the difference and develop a leader. Thank you, sir.
You asked a wonderful question. It is a very challenge to a leader also, I think. So the question is that how you want to have a leader in crisis situation. One point which I had mentioned deliberately, that how a leader, how you judge a leader. Leader in a peaceful time, it's okay. Leader is deliberating everything, giving orders and everything is being executed. A leader is judged only in crisis situation. With all his grit, what decisions he take, what is his vision, and how he executes his mission. That is important to that. This is how the leader is judged, and how the leader will be, remembered by the history. Do you remember all leaders in the history? No. In 2000 years, you may be remembering 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 leaders, isn't it? You don't remember everyone. There are many leaders who might have born in the 2000 years, but only you remember those leaders who have been inspiring, who have taken the control of the situation, who have been a good crisis manager and taken a right decision. So this is what the difference between a leader and some leaders who are not known. Some leaders are known and some leaders are not known. So what qualities, I have already mentioned to you about what qualities a leader should have. A leadership, like Swami Vivekananda said, give me 100 energetic young men and I will change the fate of the nation. Like Subhash Chandra Bose said, give me blood, I will give you freedom. Like Alexander the Great said, I don't fear army of lions commanded by a sheep, but an army of sheep commanded by a lion. So this is the difference a leader makes. Any more questions? Any query?
You heard about Napoleon? He is referred to have been said this one liner. It goes like this, it says that a leader is a dealer in hope. You know why it is said like this and why he is referred? Because the wars he fought is referred to as Napoleonic Wars. And there is a very big book by Leo Tolstoy, and Leo Tolstoy says it is not a novel. He says it is a historic novel. It is basically history, War and Peace. And War and Peace is mostly and predominantly, War and Peace is the Napoleonic Wars. The wars he fought particularly against the Russia. And Napoleon reaches right up to Moscow, Muscovite. In fact, Moscow is basically a river. He crosses Moscow. You just imagine where is France? Napoleon means France. France is the westernmost country of the European continent. And this Moscow or Russia is the easternmost. He reaches there. He crossed all these nations, reaches there, occupies it and stays there. He could not continue because the winter set in by the time they started settling. He had to go back, rush back rather. So in every war that he would have fought, the difference was between Napoleon and the other general. The war which he had to abandon, the war in which he had to abandon, he lost about 80% of his troops, was the invasion of Russia, in which there are two generals in reference. The French general was Napoleon, of course. He has risen from a soldier to become the general of, or the emperor of, he used to be referred as the emperor. And on the other hand, the opposite army had Kutuzov. The Russian army was led by Kutuzov, an old general. So every time he would invite Napoleon, he would try to envelop, but never happened because Napoleon was with the army. Kutuzov could not be with his army. He was an old man. A retired general was brought in to fight the war. They thought he was practically very wise and he would be, and he has done rightly actually. But every time the army would withdraw. And they have withdrawn right up to Moscow. There was no other place to go. They have gone beyond Moscow. Napoleon, even the Kutuzov is quoted as saying that the basic difference was that Napoleon was there. Napoleon used to personally influence the war. In every war, he was influencing. So a leader should be a dealer in hope, even when the situation is miserable. When the situation, the alternative is defeat, nothing else. When you're looking down the barrel, when the tunnel is so long and dark, the leader can inspire hope. That is a leader. And you just ask us how we, in fact, many of us have seen it. Actually, BSF, we come across not only border. Border is tormenting definitely. Many of the borders in India. You may not know, I haven't spoken about BSF. Generally, when I go for a lecture or a speech, I take it about 10-15 minutes to speak about BSF, to tell the people that this is what we do. The general public do not know. It torments. It is an ordeal, actually, many a times. But still you enjoy it. At the end of the day, you perceive and understand and you celebrate that I have done something, I have contributed. And besides that, we go for internal security arrangements also. There is internal security duties, another life-threatening situation, many a places. So we enjoy and thrive and celebrate these things. So you have to influence people every time because we say that we don't lead in the mythological stories. Leaders are referred to as leading their people, their society out of the danger. So we generally lead our people to danger. We generally lead them to their death. How can you imagine a contingent of a company, contingent of a battalion, even contingent of a brigade equivalent is led in the war knowing fully well that we could be killed any time. What kind of a leadership is it? That is leadership. Inspiring the troops to face the death. Sam Manekshaw is quoted as saying in one of the speech, not quoted, actually you can hear in the YouTube, you can see that speech. What an inspiring speech. He says that, in one of the incidents he says that he calls a soldier, actually, you probably threatened behind him that I would shoot him because he was not given the promotion. In the promotion committee, he said he should not be elevated because every time he is made, he is reverted. His rank is broken. In military, it is said like that. So that man has probably said that I will shoot. He was a company commander at that time, captain. Well, I will shoot him. So he was telling that I called him. I called him. Then I asked him, did you say like this? Then this Khalsa started saying, it's a Khalsa. Sir, I am very sorry, I did not mean it. I just wanted to say like that because I lost hope. You did not promote me. I would never have done it. I could not have. Now he says that he was having a pistol loaded. He just picks up and then threw the pistol to him and asking him that you shoot me. He was telling it is a loaded pistol. This man could have pointed at me and then shot me. Though he did not do it. He gave back he did not even pick up the pistol. So he says that if you think that I was not scared, I was shit scared, I was making geography, meaning thereby that I was piddling. I was shit scared. Fear is not about that. Fear is basically looking into the threat, the death consequences, and then still acting. That is basically courage. Fearing is no courage. Actually, you are fearful every time. You are scared, but yet you are acting. That is what courage is also all about. That is what a leader should hold. So this is what it is. A leader is a dealer in hope.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Since we know we are running out of time, so we have to stop here. Remember, our conversation is this conversation is not going to end here. And let us explore and how can we contribute in nation building through effective leadership. Thank you very much. I want to extend my sincere appreciation to our esteemed panelists for their thought-provoking insights, and our students and NCC cadets, trainees, staff for their patient listening, their engagement also. Thank you for everyone. Now we have, sir, as a token of remembrance and name of our collaboration with Chanakya University, we have a small memento. Sir. Now I would like to request IJ sir to just give this memento to the panelists and faculties of Chanakya University. The first I would like to request Dr. Bharat sir to take the memento. Then I request Captain Chaitanya Ramesh, Associate NCC Officer, Chanakya University. Mr. K.R. Devraj, ex-NCC cadet, first KR Naval Unit President, Syndicate Member of Tumkur University, nominated by His Excellency Governor of Karnataka. Dr. Nanda Kumar, Associate Professor, School of Mathematics and Natural Science. And then
Jai Hind. As a part of formal gesture, so we have a token of gratitude from Chanakya University. I would like to extend a hearty thanks, and we're extending a gratitude for hosting us here. And I hope all our cadets and students are very much useful by this interaction. It will be like long way, they're going to take this a long way. I would like to see many of my cadets or students will be like wearing the uniforms and guarding the border. It will become an inspiration for them coming here. Thank you so much. Thank you one and all. We would like to call upon our cadet Yatish to give upon a token of gratitude to Honorable IG Sir. I request Dr. Bharat Setu to hand over the token of gratitude to Honorable IG Sir. Sir, thank you so much. You're always been an inspiration and a motivator. You're always look forward for your coordination with us and with Chanakya University always, sir. So thank you so much. At this outset, I also would like to thank our DIG, sir, for all his support and encouraging words. May I request Dr. Devraj to hand over the moment of gratitude to DIG, sir. So thank you so much. And I would like to extend my thanks to Vishal sir, Deputy Commandant. I would request, may I request,
I'm just going to twice.
Yes, please.
I would like to request Arvind sir to come on dais and just take the memento from the Bharat sir. Bharat sir. Anil sir. I would like to request Mr. Sir Ashish Bal sir. Oh, sorry, Ram Nivas sir. Ashish Bal sir. Vishal Rana, Deputy Commandant. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to request IG, sir, and the NCC cadets, students, and faculties of Chanakya. We have an exhibition from outside. Yeah, sorry, sir. Now, I request all of you to just stand up for national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जन गण.
Thank you very much. Now, if sir, if you permit, then we move to exhibition. Sir. Yeah, sir. Thereafter, sir. Thereafter, we have arranged lunch for faculty member as well as the students and cadets of Chanakya University. And the Chanakya University students and cadets, we have arranged lunch this side, and faculty will accompany with Ajay sir. Any exhibition?